welcome to the Debate Network.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
Escuchen me. Everybody listen.
We are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back.
Let me talk to you.
That's right, folks. Let us talk to you, baby.
Yes,
That's right, baby. And welcome,
right.
everyone, to Circle Debate and the Chokeslam Wrestling Report podcast, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Episode 244, which is called Retaliation. Yes, because there's a lot of retaliation happening in the world of professional wrestling. Behind the scenes and on the scenes, so much shit going on. But you already know, folks, I am not alone. This is the host, Stevie's one out of the seat. Here with me, baby! Finally, we got this man here because this man is a bad man, ladies and gentlemen. You got to watch out for him because if you don't, he's the one chokeslam your ass. I'm telling you that. He will. And then he's going to tell you this after.
Bitch.
Don't get mad at me when he does that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen, help me welcome my boy, Henry, from the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. What is going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? What's going on? It's a pleasure being here. I think it's this was due for a long time, you know?
Oh, yeah. It was
For a long time, you know? So, I mean, thank you very much for inviting me to your show. So,
Oh, man, the pleasure is ours for you to be here, man. It's been a minute. I know we have a different schedules, and I know we've been overwhelmed with ours as well, and being other shows. But I'm very, very blessed that you're here with me. Bro.
anytime, man. You know, anytime, bro. You know, the next time when you come in to my show, we'll do something. Maybe what's the next pay-per-view? Money in the Bank?
Yeah, well, the one coming up is not
Double or Nothing.
but Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground.
Yeah, I think I don't watch NXT. We'll do the Double or Nothing. Definitely. Yeah, I don't watch NXT. I don't know who the hell is in there except my girl Stephanie Vaquel and Julia. That's it.
I
forgot Roxy Perez. That's my girl right there.
Yeah, the prodigy. Yes. When you talk about Stephanie, man, I wish Redeemer was here, but he's not. But this is what you'll know. Respectfully. Yeah. I always say that every time because we got, of course, we got the ladies watching us as well and listening to us. And shout out to everybody in chat. Guess not. I'm here, Ben. What's going on? Brian, what's going on, Chef? We got Kayla. What is going on? Brothers? Yes, Jordan from World Elite. World Elite.
Yes, my people were elite, definitely.
Yes. World Elite Podcast. Slap Nuts. He is a slap nuts at podcasting. The last time we had him here on the show, he literally said, "Oh yeah, what's going on, Slap Nuts?" I'm like, "What, Jordan? You spoke that way to me? What's going on?" Jordan's very quiet, but I guess not. He was not. So I mean, Oh man. But man, let's get into the action here, brother. So let's start off with Backlash, and then we'll get into Jeff Cobb because I want to say that one, but I want to get your thoughts overall with Backlash. And I mean, I heard your recap, but I want you to, hear again, break it down for us, bro. What were your thoughts overall? What would you rate it from 1 to 10? What would you rate it? What was the pros for you and the cons of this pay-per-view?
Listen, I was very, very surprised how they started Backlash, because Backlash, usually when WWE does these shows, with 5 matches. It's kind of like it's slow. They start slow, and then toward the middle they'll pick it up, and then they'll pick it up all the way toward the end. But that 4-way tag team and whatnot with Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, who was it? Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. That was an awesome match. And you know, it's funny that I was looking forward to see that one-on-one confrontation between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. And it kind of a little bit disappointed me because I expected more. But you know, I got what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And but the whole show, man. I mean, even the Becky Lynch versus Valkyria. I mean, I think honestly, Valkyria, that was her coming and you know, coming to this big show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And especially defeating Becky Lynch, because I expected Becky Lynch to win the belt, because I figured like last time they wrestled, Valkyria beat her for the NXT belt. So I figured, well, you know what? That's what they usually do. If you like months pass or years pass, they'll give the belt to the next person the next time around. But that wasn't the case. And then we had, what else we had? Oh my God, I forgot the rest of it.
I know Gunther. Then you had Dominic.
The Gunther and Pat McAfee match. I figured like, oh, that's gonna be a beatdown. But it was funny though. It was entertaining. Yes, I expected to be like, oh, slap around, and I was expecting maybe Bill Goldberg to pop up, because you know they're trying to build something there. I don't want to see Bill Goldberg in my TV, but that's
you're not alone, brother. That's all I tell you. You're not alone.
and I'm saying to myself, I don't want to see that, but it was entertaining and whatnot. The tag team? There was a tag team right between Io Sky and that wasn't a tag. No. There was another women's match. What other women's match they had there? I gotta go back to my damn notes.
Actually, let's see. Was it another women's? No, actually, there wasn't another women's. That was only one. It was only one. There was the only thing. There was Dom, and then Penta for the
Dom. Yes, the Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. I knew Penta was gonna lose, because I said to myself, right now Dominic, first of all, he's a heel and he's gonna take it to the next level. Yes. And whatnot. And you know, and the ending, I wasn't too crazy about it, but then again I said to myself, you know what, I know where they're going with this, because they're gonna make the Gran Americano fight Penta mask versus mask down the line. You know what I'm saying? And so the ending wasn't that bad. I mean, you expected Judgment Day to come in and and interfere, but they still playing that role with Finn Balor and Dominic. There's going to be some type of implosion in there, But then we had the John Cena versus Randy Orton. That match, it kind of a little slowed down a little bit, but there was too many RKOs. It wasn't me, or there was too many RKOs. But the ending of it, I would rather that way to end it with I think it was the low blow, if I'm correct, and then with the belt, because you can't have Randy Orton beat John Cena. It's too early. You know what I'm saying? And he's still got about what another 26, 25 more dates. So, and he's not going to lose the belt to Randy Orton. I think what's going to happen. This is just I'm throwing it out there. This is my fantasy booking. I see Cena's still going to hold on to this belt all the way till the summer, because now they're talking about, this is something I read, about having him team up with Travis Scott and wrestle I don't know who in a tag team. So that's probably going to come down somewhere, maybe in SummerSlam, maybe not. But I see probably Cena holding that belt maybe till Survivor Series, and Cody getting it back.
I agree. I feel the same way. But then when they announced that they were going to have him have his last match in December at Boston Garden Stadium, when I saw that, it kind of made me think, oh, shit. Like, what are they going to do? Because they don't have pay-per-views in December. They don't even have, what was it? Was it Judgment Day? Or
I think the last pay-per-view they have is Survivor Series. And then December, they don't do anything. Yeah. So if his last match is going to be at Boston, that means he already probably is losing that belt in Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
The question is with who? Is it going to be Cody? They're going to give the belt back to Cody? Or are they going to give it to somebody else? I mean, I don't see anybody in there unless it's going to be CM. I mean, what's that? Yeah, CM Punk. I can see CM Punk winning it.
But you know what about the CM Punk one? I think, and I know we're jumping the gun on this, but I still feel that maybe what they're gonna try to do on that, and I know it's too kind of soon because it doesn't make any sense for them to do it because we're not that far away from Money in the Bank, unless they put Punk in a situation where you're gonna wrestle John Cena at Money in the Bank. Because years ago, what happened with that Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? But I mean, it's just.
But the question is up to me with that is the Cena is in the brand of SmackDown. So in order for that to happen, they will have to move CM Punk from Raw to SmackDown. I don't see that happening unless they do some crossover like they usually do.
Yeah, which I feel like it should be that way because we've been seeing it as of late. You know, there's a lot of crossovers. So it should be kind of that way because remember what he mentioned after the show. He mentioned, hey, who's the next challenger? Who's the upcoming? Like after the show before it went off, Cena pretty much who's the next up to challenge him. And
you know what crossed my mind right now? Like I said, I think that Travis Scott teaming up with Cena. Remember what he did to R-Truth? He put him through the table.
That's right.
So probably the next show he'll show up. It's probably R-Truth teaming up. I don't know who he's gonna team up with, and against Travis Scott and that's probably gonna be a comedy show match. Because R-Truth is all about comedy, you know. So
I agree.
But as far as the Jeff Cobb shit, let me tell you,
I want to hear this.
Let me tell you this. This is the most funniest thing. Because I got my followers that there's people that hate WWE. They'll hate it for any reason, you know. So when Jeff Cobb came out, at first I was like, I said, who the hell is that with the long hair? And then when they showed Jeff Cobb, I said, okay. I said, and then my head was like, it doesn't make sense. Why is he teaming up with Solo Sikoa? Then somebody and all of a sudden, I said, I didn't know Jeff Cobb was Samoan. And I was like, wait a minute. Jeff Cobb may not be Samoan, but he's from Guam. So
from Guam, yes.
Those islands are all together. The Tongans, the Samoans, all that shit is there.
Yep.
So I said, look, he's from Guam, but it makes sense because what they're doing is they're trying to make all these guys from the island be in one group. I really am not crazy about that because I hope they don't do what they're doing with Tama Tonga. If you notice that since Tama Tonga came in, that guy has not won a match.
Yeah, I know. You know how bad I wanted to aggressive about that shit, but go ahead. You're bringing it up. I'm with you.
And the thing is that they're making Tama Tonga and Tonga Law look soft. Now, these guys were 7 times IWGP champions, part of the Bullet Club faction. These guys, when they were in Japan, they were tearing that shit up. So how is it they come to WWE? You make them look. I think they had the belt at one point, and they took the belt away from Tonga Law, gave it to Fatu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you making these guys look bad? And I think what it is, I remember back in 2019 when you had Tama Tonga was on Twitter throwing shots at WWE, at Roman Reigns, and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, okay, dude, you shouldn't be doing that because if you had them go to WWE, they're gonna burn you. And I think that's what's going on. They're burning him now for that. You know what I'm saying? And to top it off, they got their little baby brother there, Hikuleo. Hikuleo got signed last year, and they still haven't debuted him. Why?
That's what I was saying. I was saying on Tuesday with Justin for the NXT Watch Along. I feel there'll be the right time to do it now, especially for Obafemi that he has nobody to challenge after. He's gonna have Mouse Bourne. He's gonna face them. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I credit Mouse Bourne. He's a great kid. But he's not ready for that level. And Obafemi has done it. I feel like the only one who can in that is really Javon Evans, but he needs more of a push and more of a thriving story towards it.
Yeah.
For the road to it. In this case, because if it's with Obafemi being a big man, this is where you can introduce Hikuleo in this matter, and might as well introduce him because you're right. You've been holding him for that long. For what reason? Waiting for the right time, but come on,
and it's crazy, right? Because they did. I remember. I don't think WWE don't know how to deal with big men because they took Omos, right? They took him out of TV. They send him to Noah. He wins a tag team title in Noah, and then all of a sudden, once he got the belts, now they say, "Oh, we need you back at the States." So now he got to give up the belts to come back to the state, and they're not using him.
No.
So what's the point? Look, you know, it's funny because I know you might have WWE fans in here, but I'm going to keep it real because, you know, I keep it real. The WWE universe, they always talk about how AEW has a bloated roster. See, but you got to be careful what you wish for, because that's exactly what's happening in WWE. They got so many wrestlers, and you only got what, maybe 5 hours now, probably 5 hours of WWE, right? Because that you know, 5 hours of WWE, you can't get everybody in. You can. No. So the same thing that AEW was doing, they doing it now. You know what I'm saying? And they too concentrated. And I'm telling you, when it comes to WWE as of late, the way I'm looking at it is they're too concentrated on trying to be everywhere in the media market instead of concentrating on the storyline. Because if you notice, I mean, I saw little bits and clips of Monday Night Raw, but ever since WrestleMania Night 1 was fucking horrible. If it wasn't for the three-way, that WrestleMania Night 1 would have been horrible, you know?
I agree with that.
And then WrestleMania Night 2, the ending of WrestleMania Night 2 was horrible too. So what that tells you, they're not concentrating on the storyline. They're concentrating and being everywhere in the market, showing, oh, look, we're doing this, we're doing that. We team up with this one, we team up with that one. And it's not good. And we, as fans, we go and watch these shows and we pay our hard-earned money to watch good quality matches. And we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it. You know, I mean, let me tell you something. Backlash was pretty good, and from 1 to 10, I gave Backlash 7.5. It could have been a little better, but 7.5. I give it a 7.5.
Okay.
And then not only that, but I see Randy Orton starting a feud with Nick Aldis, and that's when Nick Aldis is going to step in that ring.
Yes, man.
For those who have not, and for those who are on the chat right now who have never seen Nick Aldis wrestle, either TNA or NWA,
National treasure.
You're in for a treat.
Oh yeah.
You went for a treat.
That's a national treasure, man. You got to go back when he was Magnums in TNA, and then when after that, when he became, you know, all this in NWA. Man, that
guy had 1,000-something days of reign as the NWA World Champion.
Yes, and he had great and awesome matches. I feel he had underrated. It's not given the credit where he deserves to have. Yep. And I think he's been dying to want to have that taste. Like, damn, I want to just get in there and wrestle in the 20x20 ring. In a WWE, he's never done that. And why not give him that opportunity? If they could really do that by SummerSlam, that would be great.
I think it might happen in SummerSlam. Yeah. It might happen in SummerSlam. And if you think about it, look, you had Nick Aldis in NWA for 1,000-something day world champion, right? The minute they took that belt away from him, you heard anything for NWA? You know what I'm saying? Some companies out here don't understand that you have a guy who's running, you know, putting your company in the map, but then you decide you make a stupid move and you give it to a guy named Tyrus who used to dance in WWE as a world champion, and it went down. Well,
you know why they give it to him. It was all for her political reasons to get the attention from Fox. That was the only reason why.
And it blew up in their face because right now where they at? They're supposed to be, I think, in the CW app. If you get to watch it, I don't even think they're even there.
Well, what happens when you do a pay-per-view and you're doing on a fucking pay-per-view? Why would you do that?
But that goes to show you, because see, I see Billy Corgan probably figure like, well, I could do some Vince McMahon thing and get away with it. Not in this time and age. You can't do that. No. You can't do that, especially when you're about to go into a new channel. What?
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
Crazy. No.
Oh yeah, I agree. See, even Steven here, shout out to Steven. He's saying, "Yep, I was going to wrestle." The same goes to Adam Pearce. Oh yeah, I remember Adam Pearce for sure.
Yeah, Adam Pearce is another good guy, but you know he's not. I think Nick Aldis is time for him to step in the ring.
I agree. Hopefully we see that. But here's my question to you: is about Jeff Cobb, since we're already touching that subject. Like, what is his future? What is it that now that he, you know, we know his credentials, what he did in New Japan. We know what he's done prior to Lucha Underground. You know, we know what he's done there. And now it's like we almost have like pretty much almost everybody from Lucha Underground here in WWE. We have almost everybody there. You know, we have Diamond X Wes Lee, we have White Rabbit and Karrion Kross, we have Matanza Jeff Cobb, you know, King Cuerno Santos Escobar. Like, I could go on and on, but it's like we have them there. And what is the future for him? What is it that you feel that where they could go right with him and wrong in this situation? And now that he's part of this story, not being alongside with Solo Sikoa, because it looks like we're seeing that it's heading to that direction that this could be the opportunity for Fatu to be pushed as a face. But then again, it can fail. It all depends. We've seen Fatu's credentials as well in other promotions and the independent circuit. We've seen it all. It's just knowing how he's being booked is where the concern is on it, especially with the story. I like how he's free. He's like, hey, yeah, I love that man. Hey, shout out to Oos. But it's just, when it comes to this, oh, man, it's going to be, it's scary, but exciting because I would like to see Jeff Cobb and Fatu. The last time I see those two guys, Defy. That was the last time I ever seen them.
Yeah, last time I saw those two go at it, I think it was House of Glory here in New York. See, and right now with this whole storyline that's going on, I see Jeff Cobb right now. Because they put him in a bad spot. The way I look at it, they put him in a bad spot because now you are the backup to Solo Sikoa, because we know for a fact, and I'm saying this right now because no matter how rule breaking Fatu does. And does or anything that a rule breaker does, he's still getting cheered no matter what. Yep. He's getting the biggest pop every time he comes. Everything that he does in that ring, it's magic. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So now you put him in a situation now that he's going to become the babyface. We're seeing that's going to happen. But now what happens with Jeff Cobb? Now you bring in Jeff Cobb. Now Jeff Cobb is going to be like the missionary, the mercenary for Solo Sikoa to probably start feuding with Jacob Fatu before he goes after the United States on on Fatu. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know. Right now, do they put him right away with Fatu? No, but I think they put him in a bad spot. That's the way I look at it now. I can't really tell you what they're gonna do with him because it's early because the way they put him in. And it's hard to tell right now because, like I said, I think they just put Jeff Cobb is going to be, how Fatu right now is Solo Sikoa's hitman, right? Yep. So Jeff Cobb is taking that spot because they're going to move Fatu into the babyface mode. But the energy that Fatu brings as a hitman for Sikoa is not the same energy that Jeff Cobb does. And I'm not trying to discredit Jeff Cobb's wrestling ability, because for a big man, he moves. He does crazy stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? And he got the strength there too, but it's not going to be the same energy. You know what I'm saying? But I think if he goes in that ring with Fatu, he's going to suffer his loss. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of these New Japan guys, they has come in, like I say, Tangaloa and Tamatanga. These guys has been taking losses after losses since they came in for New Japan. And I won't be surprised they'll do the same thing to Jeff Cobb. And I love Jeff Cobb. I'm a big fan of his. But I think same thing's gonna happen to him. That's the way I'm looking at it.
And I'm with you because that's the fear that I have too. Because I don't know why is it. I don't know if it's ego or what is that they are so doing that when they bring in someone out of their environment and they just bring them in. There's always comes to that. And it's, like how you mentioned, Gorillas of Destiny, like with them and then other prior ones, it's the same. It's like, I just don't understand why. I don't get it. It's like, is it for them? Like, oh, here, you're going to fit in. This is how you do it. You just start losing matches, pal, and then later on, then you can win. But by when, though, is the question. By fucking when are you going to give them the matches, making them look like good shit, not just right away, just burying the fucking shit out of them because it came from another quote on that competition. How is the competition very international promotion?
No, but check this out. But the way I think I'm looking at it, this came to my mind right now. But now that you say that they're bringing them in and they're not making them look good, I think they're just grabbing people from New Japan because they don't want them to go to AEW. You know what I'm saying? Because AEW got a good relationship with New Japan. Yes. So to them, they're just grabbing. They're just like, you know how you see something and you're like, I'm just gonna grab it because I don't want nobody to take it. Yeah. Even though you're not going to use it. That's what they're doing. They're bringing all these people in. And like I said, Jeff Cobb just aligning himself with Solo Sikoa. They put him to align. And to me, now leads me to think like, okay, he's there for what? They're going to feed him to Fatu? Because that's what's going to happen. Because I see Solo Sikoa beating Fatu, either cheating or something down the line. You know, he loses the United States title, and then you can move him up to the world title later, Fatu later on. But again, Jeff Cobb is in a bad spot. That's the way I look at it, you know. So do they make him invincible? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they brought him in this situation because now with Tama out too, he's injured.
Tama Tonga out?
Yeah, he's hurt.
What? He's hurt with what? Well, we got what kind of
I don't know if it's either a torn pec. I'm not quite sure because of it, but he's hurt. And so he's out for a minute. That's why I feel they had to put him in this situation, Jeff Cobb. I agree with it. Not really, because it's like not the best way to introduce. And especially with that story, because like everything what you're saying, you're on point. You're not wrong with that. Because that's my fear too. It's like you put him in a bad situation. But it's understanding why, because of you got two people that is out. You have nobody else. But then again, they could have brought in Hikuleo as well.
But let's not forget. Remember, Bronson Reed became part of the thing, and he's hurt too with a broken foot. Yep. So I think that's the reason why they're doing that, because you could have had Bronson Reed. A healthy Bronson Reed feud with Jacob Fatu. I saw those guys tear the house down 2 years ago at House of Glory. So that would be up. Let's say you see those two go at it, that'll be an awesome fight, But he's hurt. So I think that's probably the way they did it. They figured, well, if Tama Tonga is hurt, Tangaloa is hurt, you know what I'm saying? Bronson Reed is hurt. Oh, well, let's put Jeff Cobb in the mix, because he's from Guam,
There you go. Steven's saying right there, torn bicep. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
bad. Didn't his brother had a torn bicep too? His brother Tangaloa got a torn bicep from the Survivor Series too.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he did. Hey, man, they gotta stay healthy, man. I don't know what it is. It's like shit.
It's like SmackDown trying to have a bloodline on that side, and all their guys are hurt.
Good thing they're going 2 hours. Back to 2 hours coming up next month, because 3 hours, it's not been working for them, in my opinion. It's just they really haven't taken advantage of using those 3 hours and really put a lot of things where they need to put, especially the talent they have in telling stories. But I digress on that.
Listen, what's crazy that I saw also from SmackDown? Now I see that Jade Cargill looks like she's gonna start feuding with Charlotte. I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? The question is why? Why? She's still feuding. Jade Cargill is still feuding with Naomi. So why don't you finish that storyline first?
That's where I it's a little confusion on that, because it's like you see how they have Naomi and Tiffany right away getting in a mixture with Nia Jax, so it's kind of like throws everything off. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with that?
Somebody said, case my IQ said rumors that Charlotte versus Jade at Evolution 2. And why are they even doing Evolution 2? That's not nobody's gonna watch that. I don't think anybody's gonna watch it. Probably some people may watch it, but pay-per-view for a woman, and I'm not trying to diss women, but most of the time,
we're gonna get into that topic, then we're gonna get into it. All right.
Women pay-per-views don't really succeed. I mean, I think the last pay-per-view that I saw that it was pretty good. There was all woman was I think it was NWA 73 or 74. They had a woman, and it was pretty decent. But
that was Gail Kim, and then that was Mickey James who took the charge of that.
That was the last time, because I remember Evolution 1. It wasn't all that.
Well, let's talk about it. We're gonna get into that topic because you brought it up. I'm gonna get into that topic because ever since the whole Big E, and I'm pretty sure you heard it when Big E spoke about it in the post show Backlash about women should be treated equal, and then seeing Rhea Ripley kind of giving her digression of fans, like of telling the fans, why are you saying all this shit? We deserve better. We're equal as men, and since we're getting into that topic, I'm like, do they deserve better? Should be equal as men and booking overall, not just one promotion, but all of them. We got AEW, we got NWA, we got TNA, we got even Stardom, we got Marigold. Besides WWE, overall, how you feel about it?
Listen, first of all, you mentioned Stardom. And a lot of these female wrestlers that in WWE and AEW came from Stardom. And if anybody has ever watched a show from Stardom, those shows are awesome. You know, you may not be aware who's wrestling or that, but once you get used to it, you'll get a sense what they're all about. Right now, I made a podcast about 2 weeks ago of a girl named Tekla. Now, a lot of people don't know about Tekla. Now, Tekla had in January. Tekla right now, she signed with AEW because, and I didn't know this until I saw a picture of, I think I was talking to somebody. I think it was last week. I was talking about Tekla. Somebody said that she signed with AEW, and I was like, I wasn't sure if they were right or not. But I said I'm gonna go with what they said because they know they all. So, but I remember I saw during the AEW Dynamite they had the little spider on the top of the
during
thing.
Dynamite. Yep.
Yeah, so as far as when it comes to women, the woman right now is way better than it was, I say, maybe 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? When the women wrestlers, and we could go back to the Diva era. The Diva era, I think that was the worst freaking era ever to me because it was all about beauty, looks, and all that stuff. And I think the only female wrestler there that I respected there was AJ Lee, which is CM Punk's wife. You know, she made it clear one night, you know, there was all about the divas and this and that. Right now, when it comes to wrestling, I think when it comes to, let me start with WWE because WWE, they have a lot of females there that should be pushed to the level of the main event. But if you notice, they're always pushing the same people. They're always pushing Charlotte and they're always pushing Becky Lynch. Sometimes they push Bayley, but lately Bayley has been getting, like the shaft lately because, she's Mercedes Moné's best friend. So, and now all of a sudden you hear fans, I don't know if you've seen it in Twitter, Rhea Ripley's getting the Charlotte Flair treatment. No, Rhea Ripley should have never lost the belt to begin with when she won it in January. I don't have nothing against Io Sky because I love Io Sky, but these females right now, these wrestlers should be given the same treatment as the men because they doing stuff. A lot of these female wrestlers, especially the AEW girls, a lot of these AEW girls, they fighting and they bleeding. They're bleeding. I mean, you don't see that in WWE, but you see it in AEW. They doing stuff that men are doing. You know what I'm saying? And you got to give them the same flowers you giving the men because, I mean, you got wrestling fans. I mean, even though some wrestling fans are a bunch of freaks, like The Rock say, you know what I'm saying? But they come there to enjoy the women wrestling. And AEW right now, if I could compare with AEW and WWE, I think the AEW roster is a little slightly better because Mina Shirakawa just joined AEW and she just pinned Tony Storm last night, supposedly. So, they got Mercedes Moné. She just lost the New Japan Strong title this past weekend. But they got a roster there that are pretty good, and these women they work. Even though in a Dynamite show you'll get probably 2 wrestling matches.
Barely 2. You better get 1.
Yeah. You get 1 or 2, either one. Now the only show that I know that gives a lot of female wrestling matches, and I mean, even though I don't watch it, but I know is NXT.
Yes,
their cards is mostly women if you look at it. And right now, my opinion, when it comes to the women, they do deserve to be treated like the men. But my thing is, WWE all of a sudden wants to do this Evolution on the same weekend, and I think next week they're trying to do it. I think it's
July. They're trying. This is what they're trying to do.
Is it June or
July 12th.
Okay.
But the thing is that they're going to do it the Sunday because we know that July 12th, that's where All In is.
Yeah.
And they're going to do Saturday night main event on Saturday.
See,
and then
but
they have the following day is the Evolution.
So if they're going to do Evolution, you have to make sure that you put quality matches like the one you put at Backlash.
Agreed.
With Valkyria and Becky Lynch. If you put those matches and that show with different type of one, I mean, you put a Stephanie Valkyria in there to wrestle one-on-one with whoever, you know what I'm saying, or a Julia or a Rhea Ripley. You put 5 matches there that are good, then I could, I'm willing to watch it. But if you're gonna put bullshit ass matches, nobody's gonna watch that. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's about what quality matches you put in the pay-per-view. Because the first Evolution, I don't know what happened in that, but not a lot of people were happy about that. You know what I'm saying? So
it was a whole debacle on that. Honestly, I feel like it was just like I felt, and this was McNugget's fucking during era, so I feel that he just did it like, just here you can have it, whatever, fuck it. It's this. I feel it was just really more of a debacle, just given just for the fuck. Yeah. And I feel that Stephanie at the time, since she was ahead of that and in charge of the women's at that time, was just really was. I felt it was rushed, and I felt that everything was not organized how we expected to be, and it was just thrown at random, but was given that name in the pay-per-view for them. Yes, they were, of course, put there because I believe that was the first time we had.
Was it Ronda Rousey the champion then?
Yeah, she wrestled Nikki Bella at the time, and I think that's the time that we had. I think the finals of the Mae Young Classic. I think that was the second one. I believe so. I don't recall. I have to go back and see that. And then we had all these other matches and returning females, but I just didn't. It didn't feel the same. Here it's different. I feel because now, especially with WWE, them opening those doors more out there, and then with the relationship with Grasso and Marigold, which I'm hoping they better fucking do it. This is where Papa H, if you're watching, don't bullshit me, because this is where you should fucking take this opportunity and bring in freaking Marigold. Here is where you can talk to Choco Pro, even though it's tough because we know that she works with AEW, the owner. We know that, but there could be an opportunity there. Another opportunity as well is work with NWA, since you're having that relationship right now. Have their NWA talent to come along. If they could make this all women and really diversify other promotions, not only just focus on just the roster what they have, because they do have a gigantic roster of the women's and great talent they do have, but also you want to get involved other talents from other promotions because they're doing you the fucking favor. So it's like this should be a favor in return. That hey, here you go, let's do this together. Give you some of your talent, promote your promotion, put it up there because the Pop is just trying to open those doors, like what Tony Khan did when he started a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And this is if he's trying to do the same thing with TNA, especially as well, and doing that, then this is the opportunity to do it, especially for the women, because and they deserve. Like I said, and they should be treated equally as men. They should be. None of that, like all of that bullshit. No, it's all fucking. They're all should be treated the same. And this is the opportunity to really highlight not only what they have in the roster, but also the other talents roster, because they are given that opportunity to be at an event, to be highlighted, and to expose who they are. Besides being exposed where they are on the promotions or independent circuits, doesn't matter. But if they can do it here as well and be highlighted, it works. It will work for everyone. What matters, for my opinion, I feel is what matters is it should be across the board. Everybody eats. That's what it should feel. That's what it should be for all the women to get that opportunity. It doesn't have to be a title match. It doesn't have to be none of that. Just be a fucking match. Give me a fantasy booking matchup that we all the fans talk about, even in the IWC, that they talk about it as well. Fucking do it. This is a chance to do it and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and not only that, they could grab the girls from AAA. You grab the girls from NXT.
There you go.
The girls from TNA and the girls you have in WWE, and there's your evolution. You don't need to step out the box. I mean, Mary Gold could send a couple of guys. I read here they could send
Sayuri, they could send her.
Awitani and Shishida and show up. They could roll those two, but we got to see what's ever, because if they do just NXT WWE when you got AAA and TNA, then you could throw in people that you don't put them in there. You think somebody's gonna watch Evolution 3?
I mean, of course we're gonna watch it, because I want to see what they're gonna book, and I'm intrigued of how this is. Because you gotta keep in mind this is not Papa Inch's era, but I got another topic for that. We'll talk about that overall, but when it comes to that, I'm curious of how they're gonna book it. But you're right though, like that you're not wrong. Adding them too, but also add everybody else, because if you only focus on that then that's where you're gonna jump the ball because it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're jumping the fucking ball. Yeah. We see, like, we get it. We see them on television, so we do see, but there's some we don't. And why not take advantage of using this pay-per-view advantage of that for exposure, to put them out there? And I feel that's where I feel that what is missing overall for every promotion about women deserving better. For me, it's really more story. It's just like the men. It's the same story. Give me a story. Why you're putting this woman? Tell us and give them the time to tell that story. The ones that need exposure, that needs to be pushed to get to that direction. Because there's a lot of pieces there I'm not just bashing on WWE and AEW, but everywhere where they don't put underrated talent where they need to get exposed. They need the TV time. Yes, I know we're only in two, like with Raw, they can take advantage of that because Netflix paid them so much fucking money. You can do 2.5, 3.5, 4. I don't give a shit. They can take advantage of that, but they don't do it. SmackDown, they're gonna go back to 2 hours. They could have done that prior before when they had 3 hours and figured that shit out. But NXT is the only one by far, and Marigold and Stardom, those are 3 tops that really put the women on top. AEW does too. I'm not saying they don't. But there's certain talents, like, where is Deonna Purrazzo? Where is Taya Valkyrie? There is a lot of talents there too. Like, this is why I digress about it, because if that's the case, make a brand split. Fuck it. Because Dynamite, you have your Collision, and I feel Collision is where people don't much pay attention to, because Collision is the beginning of the start for how it's booked for Dynamite, and then how it's booked for the following Saturday for their Collision. And they do highlight the women more there than Dynamite itself, their flagship show.
But let's not forget, they still got Ring of Honor. And the reason you don't hear much of Ring of Honor is because they still don't have a TV deal yet where they could put them. But they were going to do, the last time I heard about Ring of Honor, they were going to do the pure women's championship. And I think Deonna Purrazzo was going to be in that tournament. I don't know what the tournament already started, but that's what I heard. But I mean, as long as these females are wrestling, they got someone to wrestle, they should be getting treated the same way as the guys. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of talent out there. The women wrestling is not like the way it was 30 years ago. Not at all.
Not at all. And I agree. No. Not at all. And no, Big Lee, I did not forget about TNA. I see your chat. No, TNA is likewise the same. It's just, but that's different because they don't have the same kind of like
the TNA. Here's the problem when I got with TNA, and let me tell you something. Especially now, they don't have Scott D'Amore. TNA right now, and I'm telling you this right now. Today, May 15, right? Today's 15. Yeah, the 15th. Yeah. TNA is going to get bought by WWE if they haven't bought them already.
I knew it. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you think about it, as of this week or last week, there will be no more blading in TNA. Now, what's going to happen to a guy like Sami Callihan who loves blading and all his matches? You know, he's not going to be able to do all that because there's no blading allowed anymore. You know, and the problem with TNA is they hire wrestlers, and then when they hire the wrestler, if they're from WWE, they go and put the belt on them real quick, and within 2 or 3 months they lose the belt, and then that's it. The guy leaves from TNA, goes back to WWE, and that's been the problem with TNA for the last couple of years. They had a chance to become something big when they had the whole storyline with the Honor No More. That's when Ring of Honor went away for a while. Yeah. And they had all the guys from Ring of Honor. And what they did, they dropped the ball on that. And that's the thing. You can't keep dropping the ball and expect to grow. And now you got WWE. If WWE is helping you, okay, they're helping you. But notice that a lot of these, you got NXT wrestlers that go to TNA, they win. And they win the matches against the TNA wrestlers. Sometimes you get the same way, but to me, it's just a matter of time. They did this with they did this with Evolve. 2015, Evolve won the bet with WWE.
Yep.
By 2020, they went out of business. Yep. This is gonna happen again. That partnership with TNA is gonna end up, or if they haven't bought them already, they're gonna end up buying them too. If they both AAA, what makes you think they can't buy TNA? TNA is their right for the taking.
It sucks because Anthem is really known by that because of the way how they run their business, and
They cheap with their money.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the unfortunate because they could take advantage of this when. And I said this a long while back when the partnership barely started, when they kind of like brought that partnership back. I said, okay, this could be the opportunity for Anthem to take advantage and be like, hey, because the following year, Peacock is gone from WWE. This could be the opportunity for TNA to get involved in it. And maybe TKO could do them the favor. Hey, you know what? They got TNA, they got the library. And especially who doesn't want TNA's library? It's like kind of Ring of Honor. Like TNA's library is really it's a treasure there. We would have now known an AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels. You know, there's so many we can name there. Chris Sabin, like everybody there.
Chris Harris.
Yeah, Chris Harris. Yeah, exactly.
Who was the guy that looked like Kane? Abyss.
Abyss. Yeah.
Who works with them right now behind the scenes? So.
Yeah, he's a producer there. He's an agent. So it's like, you know, Jeremy Borash when he was there at the time. And now that's the top guy in producing, and now he's working for AAA. He might be in charge of that along with Conan to get them used to their style. So we're gonna have to see how that's gonna work out for them as well. So this could be the advantage that Anthem could take, but the way how you really, especially that you brought that up about the whole bleeding situation, then you're not wrong with what you're saying because it could head that direction. If so, then that's Anthem jumping the ball. I thought Anthem dropped the ball on that big time. I mean, I just don't feel that's necessary. I didn't feel the advantage of Peacock. Take it there, but they can take it.
When they take it out, and who saw WWE buying AAA? No one.
No.
And it's funny because I did a podcast not long ago where they were going to send Chad Gable to AAA to do the whole mask thing, and it never clicked to me. Like, why they sending him? And I first saw it, I was like, AAA working with WWE. Maybe it's just a little work relationship. But look, they ended up buying it. You know? So, you know, and Case My IQ said that he don't think they're going to be bought by WWE, but they're going to get a TV deal. Well, they should have gotten a TV deal already by now.
That's what I'm saying, that this could be the opportunity for them to kind of doing that, because if Scott Demore left, it kind of went to like, oh shit, because now you left Tommy Dreamer in charge with, you know, and then you had Gail Kim, but they let her go, and now you brought in Jazz, and then I don't know specifically the details of behind the scenes, but all I know is that Tommy Dreamer is really the more head honcho there, a creative, and who's really watching over and talent relations as well. So this is something that I'm hoping that they take advantage of this, and instead of selling, take advantage of getting that TV deal with Peacock, or down the line, maybe in the future, maybe getting with CW, because if it's not working out for NWA, CW, even though they're an app, but this could work out for CW on maybe down the line, possibly so. No. Who knows? Because keep in mind too, brother, we're heading into a direction in this era that television is even cable networking is slowly getting away. It is really not more getting fucking apps. You gotta go to Netflix, you gotta go to Hulu, you gotta go to HBO Max.
It's all about streaming now.
It's all about streaming. We're heading that direction. And then within the 5 years that we're already heading into is gonna come down to fuck TV ratings. It's gonna be subscribers internationally, not just only nationally here in North America where we're at, but everywhere around the world, to see who's going to subscribe, who's going to tune in, who's going to click on that, you know, on that show. They're going to pay attention to that down the line of the year.
Now,
we're heading that direction.
Let me ask you this question, because I just saw another from Case Mike IQ. He says they had to cut talent because of money. Now, do you really think that WWE's like not like they're missing money? I mean, they're making more money than ever now.
That's where I questioned that when the whole releases happened. I questioned that because I'm curious to see their quarterly review. They haven't put it out yet. Mm-hmm. They're not there yet. I am curious to know what is it, how did they do in their quarterly review that made them do this decision. It feels for me they did the decision because I think they were losing money, and I still feel like they're fucking losing money. But it's just, I I don't agree with a lot of these cuts. There's certain ones, but then again there isn't. You know, it's part of the business at the end of the day. So you know, it's unfortunate. You know, keep it. It's like us. We're working class, but at the end of the day, we are replaceable. As much as I hate the fucking word, but they fucking always tell you like your job, like, hey, you're replaceable. I'm like, yeah, I already know that shit. How many years have you been telling me that shit? For like so long. I hear that shit all over the world. Like, any job that I've thought of work. Remember, you're replaceable. Yeah. I already fucking know that. You don't have to remind me. But it's just like it's an unfortunate. It's just I'm curious to know how the TKO's investors and overall the board did on their quarterly review. Did they broke even? Did they make less or they went higher? That's the right question.
I just went online and checked the TKO stock. Now, when WWE got bought, I think it was last year or the year before, they went down. Well, they were what? TKO was, I think, $65 a share. They're up to 161.46. So that's how much one share cost, $161. So you're gonna tell me they're losing money? They're not losing money, because it makes no sense to me when I understand what Kay's saying. There's two companies into one, but the thing is they're making money with UFC. They do a pay-per-view or UFC every other week. And then you got WWE's making money no matter what, even though they're not doing house shows, but the big events, the big stadiums, they're making money. So my thing is they let go of all these wrestlers. There was about 15 of them, something like that. So once I saw that, I said, well, they let these people. As a matter of fact, the same day that I did the podcast of the Tekla, that same weekend, they had just let Braun Strowman go in every, I forgot the other girl's name. So they let all these people go. So at first I said, well, maybe they're trying to bring in more female wrestlers from Stardom and try to bring them in. But then they didn't grab her. The AEW grabbed her. So I'm like, so what was the point of cutting all these people out? You know what I'm saying? Is it because now you're noticing that your roster's getting bloated and you're not going to be able to use that? So that it could be that, you know?
With the Braun Strowman one, it's understanding in a way because you're paying him this much and you were not using him.
Not only that, he has I think his leg is paralyzed for 50%, something like that.
Yeah, his knee. So he hasn't been the same ever since. And I know, and I get it, but they easily could have been fixed to say this. And they've done it before. Let go, people. Let's bring it back, but for less money, let's work it out this deal. Don't be surprised if we see the same thing. It's gonna happen again. We're gonna bring them back, but we'll have a part timer, but this much less money, and some will take it, some will not. You know, they want to go and venture out, so that's perfectly fine. You know, it all depends. Like, what is it they're able to do with that talent that they let go? But there's so many there that they didn't take advantage and use.
Like Karrion Kross is one guy. He's been there for 5 years. They let him go the first time. They brought him back, and they haven't done nothing with him. You know,
well,
and that's
one thing. And I'm with you. You're not wrong with that. And that's you know what? I'm gonna save him when we get to the last topic because I got one for sure that we got to talk about that one. That one I got to talk about. But man, like overall, like with the women, for me overall, I feel that it's kind of missing. It's really not just it's fine to have regular matches, cool, just to get to see them on television, to see what they could do, but also give them a story. Like maybe it's like that's where it's like it's soap opera. It's where you watch on television. Oh yeah, what's gonna happen in the next show? We'll give you an explanation of it, especially for the women, especially for like in WWE too, because you introduced 2 mid-card titles that the IWC have been saying, give a mid-card title. We do need a women's and a U.S. champion, Intercontinental and U.S. championship. They did it, but what the fuck are you doing with it? Because there's not been much been doing, just more flippity fucking flop, a hot potato up in here. Like, okay, we got to give credit to Chelsea Green did a great fucking job as the U.S. champion. Whether people like it or not, I feel like she did a great job. She fucking told that story like perfect. Even though I wanted Michin to win because I that's another person been there for quite some time. I think she deserved to pay her dues.
Yeah,
but it's all about storytelling. And this is where, in order for women to really get to that level, to that point, they need exposure for them to learn how to put themselves over and how to win the audiences. Like I hear Rhea's digression, but she has to understand too, every fan is that way. No matter fucking what. You know, we could go back in the fucking old days when it was way back in the golden era. They were talking shit. For God's sake, Sergeant Slaughter, he got fucking threatened for his life because of all whole shit.
Back then, back then was real.
Yeah, back then was fucking real. So it's just, we're in that culture era that they just, whatever they feel is this, that's just going to be let out to be. We have to accept it. You know, it's unfortunate. We have to. I get it. It does hurt for women, especially being called, you know, those bad. I'm not going to say it because you know what I mean, but it's just like those type of things. I get it. Sometimes fans go overboard. For me, it should be for the women, whoever are listening, or if you're an independent woman that are listening, take it one ear to another. Don't let it get to you. They don't know your personal life. They don't know what you do. They don't know how you're paying your dues. Live your life and take it to the fullest. Do not allow them to get to you. If at the end, if you're getting to them, because that means you're winning them over. Yeah. That's how I would take it. I would not take it to be offended. Fuck them. Like, just no matter. Always keep in mind, and I was a former musician. I always tell this to people that play music as well. They used to play drums for 15 years, so then it stopped. Of course, it's been a long time. But I was telling them, look, if you perform this in front of 5 people, all it takes is one. That one person will tell the other, and then tell the other, word by word, how it was back in the old days. Like, not like the social media like how we have, instead of a flyer, like how it was back in the day, start telling word about, hey, have you heard this person, or have you seen this person? It should be the same.
Yeah, but they don't do that. I mean, it's mostly criticism and all the nonsense, you know. It's just that's what makes the wrestling community kind of tarnished, because everybody has an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't do research. They don't do research, and then that tribalism is ridiculous. You know, that's what ruins the whole. I think the whole IWC is that the tribalism, and just people just want to talk because I'm a WWE fan and I love AEW sucks and New Japan sucks. If you can't say something sucks if you never watched it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. And this is why, like, not on Tony Khan. I like using this because. I just like using this.
That's fucking bullshit.
No, you're bullshit. Dave Meltzer, you just stop, you piece of shit. You tribalism bullshit, because I hear you. You don't think I fucking hear you? Like, yeah, you the WWE is like whatever. Oh, AEW, oh my god, it's awesome. We know you're under their payroll. We already know. Stop acting like you're not under their fucking payroll. Back in the days, you were on the payroll under McNugget. Same shit, doesn't change. But tribalism comes from. Unfortunately, it does come from the dirt sheets, because it's like when you do that, it's no. Please, that's why podcasters out there, what we do, please analyze. That's why my brother here and I, we call each other analysts. We analyze the freaking everything overall. We don't just we don't bring tribalism at all. We analyze situation, everything. We critique everyone. We don't favor nobody here. We fucking say how it is.
It's called common sense, and a lot of wrestling fans don't use that. You know what I'm saying? You can't. And I always say, and I say this, I don't preach tribalism on my podcast. Never will. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you right now, my favorite promotion is New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not AEW, it's not WWE, but it doesn't mean that I don't watch the rest, because you can't be a podcaster and be like, I don't like this and I don't like that. You can't talk about something that you don't know, you never watched. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch MLW back in the days. I just stopped watching it because I think they instead of them focusing more MLW, they were focusing on crass Mexican wrestling. They were all over the place. So I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still follow them. You know, I'll get reports here and there, and that's what a podcast is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That tribalism is killing the wrestling community.
I agree.
Because a lot of people you got to hear some of the stuff or some of the comments people put. You be like, a lot of these wrestling fans act tough guys behind a computer. You be like, yo, you really want to fight somebody over a stupid remark? I mean, come on, we grown ass people. You know?
Exactly.
We're not little kids. Come on.
I agree, brother.
They acting like 13-year-old, 14-year-olds. Such. I remember when Hogan popped out on Netflix and people were booing him, and I made a comment about, he's a bigot. He's this and this, and that people were defending. He's not a bigot. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on it no more because it comes down to that. You can't even comment about anything anymore. You come to your platform. I always say, like, your platform, my platform, these are our platform. And when we want to say something, we're going to say it regardless whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. You got to take the truth. So it is what it is,
I agree.
So.
And Leonard's is saying here, what's the point of releasing talent when the other wrestlers return and some different promotions are coming to WWE?
Well, other wrestlers return and some from different. What's the point of releasing talent? It's because think about it. The releasing of the talent is they're not using them. They're collecting a paycheck, sitting around doing nothing. And WWE is not the only one that does that. You got AEW wrestlers that are doing the same thing right now. What's it? Butcher and the Blade. That's a tag team, right? Blade's out because he's injured, but Butcher is sitting in the probably backstage doing nothing, but he's collecting a check. I mean,
another one too.
Tony Khan probably don't mind about that, but in WWE, I mean, Aaron Emanuel, he's not gonna be sitting back with like, we're not using that wrestler. Yo, gotta let him go, because everybody makes it look like this whole release stuff came from Triple H. This doesn't only come from Triple H because there's somebody higher than Triple H. So Aaron Emanuel says, hey, you gotta let Dakota Kai go, you gotta let Braun Strowman go, you gotta let Kota J go. They gotta go. There's no ifs, no buts. You think Triple H wants to release these people? No, he doesn't want to do it. But he's got to hire someone above him that tells you, hey, you got to cut these people. You got to let them go. You got to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's because it's part of the business. And like how you mentioned, it's he answers now to someone else. Mm-hmm. It's not what it used to be. This is now a different man that it's as a whole. You know what? Might as well just get into that topic as well. But you know what? Might as well just, that's one topic that I want to bring up because, and this is another one overall because it's not only one promotion, but it's also it's pretty much everybody, which is the world of professional wrestling, the pros, and the current status overall of all these promotions. I mean, I could add a lot more of them, but I didn't because it's too much of it. But it's like, that's one thing that I would like to know is like, what have you seen by far currently as of this moment? Because I feel like, I don't know how you feel the same. Like everybody feels like, Mania is like, once that is over, it's a new season. And it's kind of like how AEW has theirs as well when it comes to Revolution or when it comes to, I would say, maybe All In or All Out. Who knows which one is their Manias? It should be Double or Nothing, but because that was their first pay-per-view, but they don't really use that nowadays. It's really more like the Royal Rumble, and then we have other ones. But then we have New Japan, of course, after Wrestle Kingdom. What's the next season? We have Ring of Honor, what they have. We have NXT, what they have. It's a lot of promotions out there that how they have their seasons. But what analyzing what you see by far overall, what has been their pros and what has been the con in all the world of professional wrestling?
This is the pros so far. I'm gonna go with the pros, and I'm gonna pick AEW and New Japan. The reason I'm gonna pick AEW and New Japan for the pros because AEW, you're right, you don't have an actual like a WrestleMania. I think that WrestleMania now is all in. It's all in. Double or Nothing is that's supposed to be their main show because that's the way they started back in 2019 was Double or Nothing. And whatnot. But right now their main show is All In because where All In was built, I think was 2017, 2018, one of those.
About so, yeah.
But see, here's the difference between WWE and AEW. Now WWE once WrestleMania is over, Now everything calms down. Everything starts going like this, when we up here doing WrestleMania season, it's hype, but once WrestleMania is over, now it's like this, so it calms down. With AEW is different because AEW, they got, I don't think they have a pay-per-view in January, but they started their little thing. I think is it Revolution. They started their thing with
Revolution. Yeah.
They started with Revolution. Once they start the Revolution, now they go to AEW Dynasty. Then they go to Double or Nothing, and so on, so on, so on. So they got pay-per-views, but you don't know which is their main pay-per-view. I know for a fact that it's All In. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So and their pay-per-view, I think the only time they don't have a pay-per-view maybe last year they only had January and February, then he had pay-per-views, and then the rest of the year they have pay-per-views. But
February. I think it's February, I believe so.
January and February they don't have pay-per-views that I know.
Yeah, they only do kind of like that, like Winter Storm. Yeah.
So they got pay-per-views, you know what I'm saying? And then most of people, like I say, a lot of WWE fans, they hate AEW, may not agree with what I'm about to say, but if you look at their pay-per-views compared to their TV shows, their pay-per-view are very good. You know what I'm saying? They're very good with the exception, what was there was one I think was Dynasty that ended up messed up this year, but that's once in a blue moon. You know what I'm saying? But and then you got New Japan. Now New Japan, they got the Wrestle Kingdom, and after Wrestle Kingdom they have the New Japan Cup. Then after the New Japan Cup they have the Dotaku, but that's regular ones. But then their biggest one, which is the G1 Climax.
Yeah, before the G1 number is Dominion. Then after that,
yeah. Right.
That's one.
Dominion is one of the biggest pay-per-views too. But what I'm saying is, like when it comes to AEW and New Japan, they make wrestling exciting. But the problem is, if you're not watching wrestling as a whole and you're just stuck on your bubble with WWE, you're not going to enjoy the wrestling. There's some wrestling fans that like WWE, then they get mad, like, oh, this shit is boring. This and that. But okay, so if you're bored, how about watching AEW and New Japan, see what's going on? Entertain yourself. Because if you're supposed to be a pro wrestling fan, right, then watch that. And the cons of that is exactly what I'm saying. Wrestling fans, we don't see wrestling fans. We see tribalism. And that's the bad part about it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Ring of Honor, I don't really worry about Ring of Honor because they're on the AEW. It's like WWE with NXT, I wish I could talk more about NXT, but I don't really watch NXT, so I can't give it anything. But the people they have there, I think there was one girl here, and you may agree with me. What is that girl? Nikita Lyons. Why does that woman still have a job?
For me, this is how I feel. If you're asking me that question, I'll tell you. And in the beginning, before she got hurt, she was kind of already okay. She's working on her in-ring ability. She got it. She's getting used to it. She got hurt, and then when she came back, it wasn't the same. I feel we all know, and it's not we say, and I say this respectfully. Yes, we were men, but we all know why. It's really one. We know I'm not denying her charisma. She has that. Of course, it's the looks is word. That's where it tells. 3, now that she's back at Evolve, which now they're using Evolve, which I feel Evolve is going to be now their developmental, because NXT now has become their own brand. It's no longer a developmental. It's a third brand. Yes, it has become a third brand, and it really has, because the talent that they have and the stories that they're kind of telling. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I agree and disagree with NXT, what they do, because they're like Hickenbottom. I know your eyes going that way, this way, but man, you gotta focus on one shit, man. You gotta focus on, hey, you gotta tell a story for it. Don't just be hot potato. I'll give you the belt. I'll give you the belt. No, none of that shit. This ain't Oprah. Professional wrestling. No, like gotta calm down with that shit. You got to take it at a pace at a time. Tell us a story. The problem is that the fans that don't know currently fans, it's like we got so used to storytelling. We got so used to it in all of our promotions. They told us a reason why they did this. They gave us a story why this occurred. It's like I could go back with AWA the same. How did the Vern Gagne and Big and not I can't remember. I'm having a freaking spin. Nick Bockwinkel's freaking how their feud began. Who's the best of it? Yes, we know Vern when he started AEW was really more about introducing what's professional wrestling. And people don't understand that if it wasn't for AWA, there wouldn't be a Hulk Hogan. There wouldn't be a Nick Bockwinkel. There wouldn't be Greg and Vern Gagne. There wouldn't be. There's so many talents there that came from AWA that people do not know about. The same with NWA. That was the birth of it because they showed it in the ring and they told the story in the ring. There's two different types of stories. There's stories of telling a story, speaking, and there's one you tell in the ring. The psychology of it, to get an understanding of it.
And it's crazy because the most complaint that I hear is, AEW doesn't have a storyline. So they can't watch a wrestling match because it doesn't have a storyline. But sometimes the storyline could be told in the ring. New Japan does it all the time.
Yeah.
New Japan, when you have their matches, I mean, even if you got a David Finlay wrestling Hiroki Goto for the IWGP belt, and they don't go in the mics and do promos and none of that stuff. They're like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take your belt. And they have their match, and they'll have a 35, 40-minute match. And they tell you a whole story between 35 40 minutes. And like you said, a lot of people has gotten used to the storyline. Oh, tell me a story about a lot of the story they want to be told is, let me do a 15-minute promo. Let me attack this guy. But no, they don't have to do that because back in the day, they didn't need to just do all that.
They never introduced it to that. And that's one thing, and I'm not going to hear fucking bullshit, I'm going to be, because that's how I was with AEW. With AEW, is like, tell me why. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
That's how I am. I mean, I'm not going to say everything overall. There's certain stories that I will critique on. But there's some, I get it. Because it's more trying to get to adapt to what they're doing. And it's not storytelling of like, you're not giving an explanation why you're giving this match, but you're booking it. But hey, I want to see it. Why not? So I know Tony Khan's mentality. It's really besides ECW, like how he has a mentality, but also as well as independent promotion. Because when you go for any promotion, the same. Oh shit, there's no storytelling, but you'll go because it's just a 3-match. You want to see. I want to see that match. It's gonna be aggressive. It's gonna be tough. Oh, it's gonna be a badass match. It feels the same, but in a higher promotion, and it does the same. So I understood it now. I'm gonna lie to my bullshit here, and I'm saying it live. Like in the beginning, I'm like, you're not giving me a fucking story. But I'm gonna lie. There is certain stories that I'm like, why? That doesn't make any sense on this. Give us an explanation, and that's where I'm at. Like this, it doesn't have to be all of it, but it could be some of it that I could say why. The other ones is understand why they do it. Cool, I get it. At least you're starting it, and they're gonna then tell us later. Hopefully.
Let me answer this question because I see here Takora World. Okay. He said, "Why nobody's talking about Hiroki Shida? Shida's in Japan. That's why you don't see her on AEW. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that Tony Khan is giving up. He is not giving up on her. It's these people travel back and forth from here to Japan, and it's not that he gave up on her. Some of these wrestlers." They wrestle somewhere else, but they're still under contract AEW. I mean, I gave you a good example. How you call it? Oh my God. What's his name? The one from Don Callis family, the Japanese guy. Takeshna. Takeshna. Takeshna, it has 3 contracts. He wrestles in New Japan, he wrestles in DDT, and he wrestles in AEW. So you got to understand these guys go back and forth, and they're gonna, they're not gonna, you're not always gonna see them in Dynamite, you know what I'm saying? And then when you don't see Takeshna in an AEW show, it's because he's in Japan. He always does that because I mean, and Konosuke Takeshna, if he like I said, if he's not wrestling in AEW, you'll see him in a New Japan USA show. So these guys got contract, and that's the thing that's what you see now. WWE working with all these other promotions because AEW started doing it first. So they got these, I mean, it's good for wrestling fans anyway. If WWE works with Noah, if they want to work with NWA, TNA, it's good for wrestling because you get to see all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know if you agree with the fact that Joe Henry lost to Randy Orton in 3 minutes and 12 seconds when he's the TNA champion. But they say, what I was hearing is, it's a good rub for Joe Henry. I don't know how that was a good rub, but it is what it is, I guess.
When it comes to that, I can tell you, like, I'm with you when it comes to him being the TNA World Champion. Yes, it looks bad on him. I get it. Like, that's understanding. That I do understand. And it should have been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It should have been at least 9 minutes.
At least. I give it at least 10.
Yeah. At least that. Something.
Yeah.
Regardless if he lost. Like, for me, it's fine in a way because he got his momentum. Yeah, at the end of the day, I gotta give it to him because he got a momentum, and guess who's now watching him? Once his contract's up in TNA, hey, Papa H, gonna be like,
he's coming. He's coming. He's coming to WWE. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna come with that gimmick. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the gimmick that.
If Henry can throw it right away to say, look, all this shit is mine, no copyright, none of that fucking 90-day clause. This is all mine. So you let me go, I am free. I'm taking my shit with me. If he can pull that agreement the following year, because his contract's not over until 2026 with TNA.
Oh, he still got more time with TNA? I thought he was almost done.
No, because TNA, they normally do, you know how they generally do 6 months with talents and then they'll think about it and then reissue it. But since they've been the world champion, they've renewed it for the entire year. And all right, let's just have him the whole year in 2026, then he'll come back. So this is where there you go. It's pretty much by the end of the year. So there you go, by December. So that makes the same. So he ain't going nowhere.
He's gonna show up at the Royal Rumble 2026.
Yeah, exactly. If that's the case, but that's depending on what TNA is gonna have to offer, and also WWE what they're gonna offer. We know what WWE's gonna offer him.
But TNA not gonna be able to offer him anything because, like I said, I have a feeling TNA is gonna get bought. People think that it's not gonna get bought, and like I said, and nobody saw the AAA purchase. No one saw that. No. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even see that. So it's crazy.
I didn't even see the company at all.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy GETCHO podcast. Just what's going on. And Frost for Casper saying, like, Charlotte and Becky, there's a reason for Sasha. Charlotte, there's a story. Charlotte and anyone she feuds with their real story. I mean, let's see. I think Hikaru Shida and Dakota Kai and Shannon Baszler and Priscilla Killington TNA. Well, we know she's doing now. I think she's wrestling her man Zachary Wentz, House of Glory. I think is coming up. Or no, GCW. I think one of them. She's doing an event for them now that her 30-day clause is already up. She's doing that. I know Cora Jade, Ilana Black. She's already has dates for GCW. She's set. So she's really going to be doing GCW that I know by far. I'll see. Where is Shida for me? She's not a free agent.
She's not a free agent. No.
No. She is not.
Wow, you've been counting 178 days?
I know. Man, I guess.
Listen, I said it again. She's not. She's in Japan. That's where she's at. She's not in nowhere home state collecting a check. She is in Japan.
Yep. The only person that goes on the mic is the winner of the main event to make it special. They're always playing games on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay, that's how you're feeling. Facts. G1 and Super Junior's matchup storylines with it.
That is true.
True. Because I agree 100%.
Yes.
I agree. You know what? Now that we brought that up, like, oh man, tell me that and I'm curious to know, since you're a New Japan fan, this Super Junior Cup has by far been, for me, one of the best. I haven't seen one like this in quite some time.
Well, I haven't catch up to it because I've been running around, but I'll definitely catch up. But I hear that they got a lot of talent in there. Because even what's his name?
Ninja Mac, he's doing great.
Yeah,
Wayne is doing great.
Who else?
Yeah, you got Dragon Die.
Nick. What's
Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne.
Yeah, Nick Wayne's in there. So, I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'm sure.
I'm not gonna spoil it. You have to do yourself. I had to do that to you, brother.
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Matter of fact, I saw a match, clips of it of Ninja Mac doing backflips, like he jumped over the ring, and they kept doing. I've never seen anybody do that. No one. That was amazing. I gotta see that.
Man, if you go back and look at his Noah matches that he had, in Noah, the man is underrated. He's great, very great, and for his size, shit, that guy can move. I don't know how the fuck he can move that way. I'm just like,
you'd be surprised. Some of these guys got talent. They got how you call it? They have they got a lot of a lot of movement that you'd be like, well, that guy's fat and that guy's out of shape. Don't sleep on these guys. They'll be practicing.
No, I mean it's like more like Samoa Joe. Like people think Samoa Joe's heavy. He's a heavy guy, but he can move.
Look! Oh, my man, Kofi Winston is in the house.
Oh, Kofi Winston, we live, baby. Kofi, 30 Hills. 30 Hill
podcast in the house.
That's right, my boy right there. Kofi.
Yes.
Yes, we live.
I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him was probably like almost a year ago in the House of Glory. You know what I'm saying? That's another brother. That's another brother that I've been down to do a podcast with.
Hey, he hating on your hat, bro. That's why he's like.
Oh shit, he hating on my hat. No, listen. I'm rocking the hat because I like the Nets too, but I'm not hating on the Knicks. They better win.
It's because you have to understand, Kofi. It's like it's the Bronx.
It's a New York thing. It's a New York thing.
Exactly. Because it's like when we have the LA, you have LA. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? He lucky I'm not worried about Miami. That's my team, Miami Heat, but they got sent home, so I can't be rocking that shit.
What's up, Mario? What's going on? Yes, and Lennox, my man, what's going on? He said, "What's going on?" Kofi, yes. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And Kofi, I gotta have you back here, man. Kofi and I, we go back for 6 years. Man, I remember when we collaborate. Well, Kofi and I and my crew back in the day. So, man, we gotta do it again.
Yeah, we gotta do a super debate.
Hey, you gotta come and join us, bro, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, go Sixers. Oh, wait, the draft lottery's over. He's Bakley OGK from Philly right there. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely there. You go.
That's what we talk about. He's definitely ready.
That's right. Hey, don't forget. You got to send me, Kofi, Jobber Slam promotion thing that you mentioned to me last week. Message me on that so I can work on that because I need to do that for sure. I'll give you guys 100. Man, you give us 120, bro. You don't have to worry about that, man.
Yeah. Listen, always supporting, man. Always love.
That's love to my brother right there, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But one thing. Okay, cool. Appreciate you, fam. Send it to me. It's like 18 days to my birthday. Oh, Christopher, well, hopefully 18 days we can celebrate your birthday. You want to come on down and join us? You're more than welcome. I'll tell Redeemer in case I'm not available. Tell the crew. You're more than welcome to. You already know it. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe to my brother right here with Chokeslam Wrestling Report. The description will be right below, so you can click on that and subscribe. All right, don't forget about that.
Yes.
So, another thing I wanted to bring up on this topic, so we're talking about the pros and cons of this. Here también is what I feel too, and I want to know your opinion because I've been holding my tongue and I have not had the opportunity to digress about it. TKO is really fucking issue. Is Emmanuel is now doing what he did to Dana White when he bought UFC. This is before the whole, combining of TKO, before the birth of TKO. When he bought UFC, Dana White had everything under control, what he was doing, how to book, what fights, and how to book them, and where to book them, where he knows where he will sell tickets and the prices of them. Here, this guy decided to do the same, get involved with Dana White. Dana White got upset. Like, you see, we're not doing great. You're adding shit here that you're not supposed to be adding. And I feel he's kind of doing the same thing now with Papa H. I'm not going to blame The Rock. I know people are asking, oh, yeah, or been telling me, like, hey, Rock. No, I'm not blaming him. I ain't worried about him. At the end of the day, it's really the owner of who owns the company. He could be a board of directors. He could give his 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents. I don't give a shit how many cents you want to give. But at the end, is the man who makes the final decision on that. TKO, if we noticed, and I'm pretty sure you've been noticing, like with this Backlash, you see how it wasn't really booked really tremendously, like, oh my God, it's going to be an awesome pay-per-view. Why? Because you booked for the first time Mania in the middle of the month of April. We're so used to getting booked in the beginning. But it gives you the opportunity within the weeks to build a story to tell for a follow-up. Here in this case, I feel like we didn't get that. And then not only what he's doing now, but also keep in mind what he's doing with NXT. You're booking NXT right at the same time where it's another company is going at the same time. It's like, are you trying to repeat a fucking WCW, WWF type of shit, like, you know, the wars? Is that what it looks like to me? And I feel it's a mistake. I feel like keep yourself away from it. Everybody should win across the board at the end of the day. You know, we're fans, and whoever goes, goes. It doesn't, cool. It shouldn't be a competition. It shouldn't be. I mean, there is competition, of course, in sports. This understanding. However, I feel Emmanuel is getting involved too much in the booking, and like how you said earlier, how you mentioned about the marketing, they're focusing too much on that. I think it's a con where this is really fucking up WWE of what they need to be telling us in stories overall of what they're booking in this new season, we could call it, for them. And I feel Emmanuel should step back. I feel Papa H should really put his foot down, have Dana White to help him. Hey, you know what? You know, Dana got my back. You can just worry about your money. Go enjoy yourself in the pool. Go do what the fuck what you want. I don't give a damn. Anything. I don't give a shit. You can even go. I'll even tell you this. You could do this. I mean, you go have fun with anybody, but not Miss Parker. You can even go ahead and do whatever you want. You can do that. I don't care.
I don't care.
Miss Parker. You just gotta leave her out of it. That's it.
But see, I think you know, I'm glad you brought that up because I know two things that I noticed this year. One was the Royal Rumble was in February this year.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Then the WrestleMania was in the middle of April, something that they haven't done in a long time. I think when it comes to Ari Emanuel, it's more of he wants to make sure that no one takes control of what he owns. It's all about ego. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, as far as him trying to, you know, I mean, put a pay-per-view against AEW. I mean, at that same time, whoever it is, if it's Saturday Night Main Event, if it's Evolution, whatever the case may be, I think they're not going to do well against All In. That's not going to happen because All In is one of the big AEW's biggest show, you know. Or, you know, I mean, remember, if they're going to do Saturday Night Live that Saturday, that's a 2-hour show? I mean, and the pay-per-view is going to be 4 hours, you know, even probably longer, 5, because they do the 1 hour, you know, the what is it? I forgot the name of it. But anyway, so they do like 5 hours. So to me, I mean,
every pay-per-view that AEW is 5 hours because you have the pre-show, and then you got Double or Nothing with that, and then that's Tony Khan for you because he wants to do the whole fucking show. Believe me, I've been to Revolution, and I know. Trust me, bro.
You know,
I've been there for like 9 hours.
You know, the crazy thing is that Tony Khan makes sure that all his wrestlers are in the fucking show. You know, He did that shit last year with the All In. He had like a what was that 12-man tag team, some shit like that.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. But he made sure that all his wrestlers pop out, even if it's the before hour show, whatever, before the pay-per-view. But I mean, you're gonna get that. It's Ari Emanuel is a competitive guy. He's gonna do stupid shit. He's not a wrestler. He's not a wrestling promoter. He's a guy who owns two companies. You know, the UFC, and he owns the WWE. You know what I'm saying? So he's more of, he'll probably tell the guy, no, I need you guys to do an event. I don't care what it is. I want to compete with these guys. He doesn't care. He's not losing money. He's not going to lose money because at the end, whether let's say if Cyanide main event doesn't do well, or Evolution on Sunday, I think, but or if there's a UFC show and doesn't do well against any show AEW, he's not going to lose money because he's still got a fan base. You know what I'm saying? He's still got a fan base regardless. But I mean, is it going to be in the next WCW? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a guy's just competitive. You know what I'm saying? I don't think my thing is I'm more worried more of Tony Khan, because remember beginning Tony Khan was like, oh, I want to do this, you know, we're gonna do better than. I mean, even though Ospreay has been talking crazy on Twitter, talking about AEW wrestling is better than WWE. Dude, don't say anything. Just shut up. Don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep competing. Keep being the best wrestler in the world, and let Tony Khan worry about it. Because Tony Khan right now, all he's worried about right now is making sure that his shows do well. And if you look at it now, those shows that are happening now are way better than they were probably a year ago. You know, because they were hitting 500, 400 because their shows were not, because he was worried about WWE. Now he's more concentrated with the product, and that's what he's supposed to do. Concentrate on AEW. Forget about what WWE is doing. You know what I'm saying? And NXT is doing. Do what you got to do. But Ari Emanuel is always going to be a competitor guy because that's the business mindset of it. And you know, I don't think it's really going to hurt WWE in the long run. I don't think so. Unless he does something stupid and be like, no, I won WrestleMania against All In. You know, I mean, because, you know, some businessmen become, you know, stupid sometimes, you know. Oh,
that's my concern. That is my concern is of that. It's just like, I mean, but do you feel like it's a good idea to do that, though? I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's like, it shouldn't be constant, though. It's just, I just don't, sometimes I feel like it's not beneficiary because we get it's competition. Don't get me wrong, we get it, but it doesn't have to be the same fucking time consistently. If this is like, I feel this is the first time he's doing this. You're putting NXT versus Double or Nothing, which I don't think is a good call. Because my fear is that he starts bitching, what the fuck, why is NXT didn't do better than fucking, oh no fucking shit, you're putting it against what they're, you know, should book already for a minute what they have to take, and you decide to put it in.
And if he's doing that, Double or Nothing is whatever show at NXT. And if he hasn't gone back and look at what used to happen to NXT back in the days when the AEW was doing good, and I'm sure that Double or Nothing is going to be rocking. And I mean, I see the card already. NXT is not going to beat AEW on that. Not on a pay-per-view. No way in the world. You know what I'm saying? So remember when NXT does pay-per-view, they don't get a large crowd. They don't. Yeah. They don't get a large crowd. AEW does when they do their pay-per-views. You know? So I mean, again, like Ari is like Case My IQ says, Ari won't interfere himself. I think he's interfering already. He's the thing here. He's interfering. Now, and The Rock, he said he's using The Rock as a mouthpiece. The Rock right now is on hot fucking water as it is. He's on the shit list because he created a storyline, the Elimination Chamber with John Cena, but he doesn't show up at WrestleMania to create the actual how the story started to begin with. So
exactly,
you know what I'm saying? So The Rock could be a mouthpiece, but The Rock ain't doing nothing right now. The Rock is still doing movies right now. You didn't even see him the night after WrestleMania.
No,
so it's crazy.
And that's man, and that's what I just hope that Emmanuel doesn't get involved fully in it, just let Papa H run what he's do. Another thing, Papa H, I kind of wanted to like say about Papa H too. I get it when it comes to creative freedom and constructive criticism, like that's fine, but there has to be at a certain level, like to allow your other creativities, your other creatives who is involved in your that board of, hey, let's do this story, let's try it out. Of course, in order, like how Paul Heyman said a long time ago on his documentary, in order to learn how to succeed, you gotta learn how to fail. That's understandable, but it doesn't have to be consistent. That's my concern.
Now that you're saying, bringing that up about the creative stuff, now I think they're gonna do a show what they're gonna do behind the scenes or creative ideas.
Yeah, Netflix.
Do you agree with that? Because that's killing the kayfabe. Now, my thing is, the Ari Emanuel told him to do that type of show, because why would you expose the business?
I agree. They shouldn't. For what? What do you get out of it?
Exactly.
I mean, you did say. Remember when he said in the post conference? I think was it Rumble? I think, or I forgot what media scrum he said that. Oh yeah, people knows our business. People knows what we do. We're not hiding anything. I'm like, oh, we get that point, but creative shit, I would hide because
it's killing the magic.
Yeah, you're killing the fucking magic. I agree with you. It's like, what the fuck? You kidding the fucking magic? Then what's the point of us getting hyped? Oh, we never know what's gonna happen. Because the more you do that, it's like, I'm gonna change the channel.
Yeah, because at the end, it's like listen. The wrestling community is already toxic as it is. Now you're gonna go and expose the business by letting everybody knows how it's done. This and this and that. Now you got these marks that think they smart about the business. Now they think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? And they come to our social media and like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, but I don't understand. Why are you even doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you exposing what the magic happens? Because now you start exposing that, nobody's gonna watch wrestling. How much you want to bet if they expose that the wrestling business is gonna go down?
It is going to go down, because then from there people are going to be like, oh, I'm not really. I don't know. Like, it seems to me that what they're trying to do, and if it is Emmanuel, because if it is his decision, like, bro, you're hurting the business, because you're pretty much putting it out there as it's entertainment. Come and see it. We know it's a soap opera. We know it's predetermined. However, it is still a sport, because when you get in that ring, it's a 20 by 20 ring. Those moves hurt. You think anything could happen. Could be a mistake. You still get hurt. That shit hurts. You think it's like, oh, it's only just rubber. No, it's not. It's fucking wood under there, and there's one little platform. I know, because I did it before, so I already got all details. I wrestled with 16 by 18, so I know how that shit is. So it just. But when you're exposing how it's told a story, then you're not going to get the audiences to get intrigued. Yeah. You can go ahead and throw us whatever, like, oh, no, that's not happening. But then again, what you're doing is you're pretty much kind of exposing what the fuck are you doing and how are you doing it.
And not only that, but if you think about it, now you're going to push these wrestlers, especially in the indie scene, where you're going to have wrestlers overdoing shit they're not supposed to be doing. Because I remember one time I went to, who was it? Project Code Name Pro Wrestling, something like that, in Jersey, right? This guy was like 6'5". He tried to do a body press from the top rope to his wrestler. He missed these guys completely and landed messed up on the floor, on the hardwood floor. So I'm like saying to myself, here we are now that we're gonna see supposedly the Unreal debut, WWE Unreal. Now you're gonna expose the thing. So now these wrestlers are gonna be like, well, I don't want him to think that this is fake. Let me do this, and then they go get hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't understand. I mean, the business right now is like, it's booming right now. It's hot, but there's a lot of WWE. I don't know. I mean, Triple H, and they're doing all this. That's what I'm saying. They're not concentrating on storylines. They're concentrating on trying to make new shows, make this, make that. And like I said, maybe it's Ari Emanuel behind the scenes. Say, oh, let's do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
That's what pisses me off about why, like, I feel like Emmanuel, I'm hoping that if he's involved in this, I hope that really they can put a foot on his ass and be like, you know what, go to your fucking, go wherever the fuck you came from, I don't give a shit, and just stay there and make your money. Worry about you collecting your money and let us worry about what the fuck we're doing here. So the same way, just like the same what he did with Dana White. Because now Dana White is, you know, he put his foot down, and what he did now UFC, he's trying to revive it back because he noticed sales were not going as great in UFC. And he's like, shit, I'm fucking, yes, he made proclaim on, you know, on the post media, we did this, we did that, but he knows in reality they didn't do that shit. He's like, fuck. And it's upsetting. Yeah. And this is where Emmanuel needs to step away from getting involved in that. I get it. You're like a kid. Like, that's the same with fucking Tony Khan. Why I get on Tony Khan? Because it's like, you gotta have a creative team to help you to get that. You got a lot of people there that works for you.
Well, I think with the way AEW has been going, I think he probably took that advice. He probably got a couple of people involved in that because the show is way different compared to what it was maybe at the ending of last year. Because those shows were horrible.
They were horrible. I agree. They were horrible, and I'm noticing, and you're not wrong. You're right, because there's been noticeable that there has been changes. Of okay, we're seeing something different now. Cool. Yeah. But you know, I'm not rushing it. You know, we all know it's at a time. It's all step at a time, and hopefully he's able to do that.
I think what I read, I think AEW beat NXT this week.
I can tell you right now.
About 16,000. So for what I read, I don't know if it's true, but
let me check out my boy from WrestleNomics because that man always gets the details of that. Because I do. That's our boy right there. So, all right. Dynamite did 682 viewers. They did that 0.17, 1849 demographics. So they did that's Dynamite. NXT, yeah, they beat NXT 64. Yes, I know, but which I don't pay attention to 1849 demographics.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't give a shit about that. They're at 15%, so I guess they went up higher, but they lost viewers. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's good for AEW. They needed that kind of push in a way because you know what they booked yesterday was something that it needed to happen. Yeah, and kind of push and tell a story, which I know Tony Khan. I know that you do this every fucking time. You do this always on the last week of your pay-per-view. You tell a story. You're telling a story to put a pay-per-view. Change that, man.
Yeah, but you know
he's learning. He's learning.
But it's funny though. But when he does that shit, the pay-per-view is fucking good. That's the that part. Like you got Triple H planning this shit for for 5-6 weeks to get to the pay-per-view. This motherfucker does it in fucking 2 weeks, and then next thing you know, you be like, that's just gonna burn. That's gonna be garbage. And next thing you know, the fucking shit is good.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, AEW, and I always said this, their pay-per-view has always been great. I don't disagree. I will never downgrade the pay-per-views.
I think I could tell you the worst pay-per-view ever in AEW, and it was All Out 2020.
Who was the main event of that?
I don't remember what was the main event of that, but that's the one that Matt Hardy almost killed himself with Sami Callihan when they went through the tables and almost broke his. I think it was a street fight, something like that. And they did I think that Sami Callihan tried to do a Spanish fly, and they landed on the table, and Matt Hardy hit hard, had a concussion.
Yeah,
that was a bad pay-per-view that year. And that's how they went for moonsault. He slipped because it was so hot in the damn stadium. The ropes was sweaty.
Oh, fuck. Oh, jeez.
That's the worst pay-per-view I ever seen from AEW. That's the only one that I know of.
I don't know if I can see that because it's been a minute. It's really been a minute. But it's just That's probably the only thing I can read about WWE is where they have their with issues in AEW, how they have their issues of certain things. You know, other just for me, my concern is TKO to really Emmanuel to get involved with that fucking shit. It's like, no, just fucking keep away.
They're gonna get involved, boss. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get involved. And right now it's like you're probably gonna end up losing your hair if they do really get it really
I already lost my fucking hair already. I think I may lose more of my hair, but I'm like fucking.
Hey, listen, you know when you gotta be worried about? When you see Abby and Manu in the middle of a WWE ring.
Oh yeah, fuck if that shit happens, because then I'm gonna lose my shit. Then I know the fans are gonna be like, first I'll be like this. Damn. And then I'm gonna. Son of a bitch. Then that's for sure. And then I'm gonna go. Fuck!
My man Jay White, I love Jay White.
I love Jay White, man. He got hurt, man. Shout out to you, Jay White. Speedy recovery, man. Fuck, it sucks that he got hurt. Because, man, that's another guy that I could really digress about. But fuck, it's what can we say about that? But yeah, if Emmanuel does that shit, no, hell no.
Yeah.
It was me. Triple H. It was me all along. No. Okay, all right. Okay, what about this? Okay, what about? I'm curious to know about New Japan for you. Now the Bushido board in Gato is no longer really much of head of creating. Is now Tanahashi. I think we've seen Tanahashi what he proved as an example. What he did this past year G1, I think it was great how he did it. It kind of introduced a lot of new talent and new exposure that, New Japan, I'm confident that they're and know that they were going to do this, like introducing a new generation, because it's almost like we could go back to the days in New Japan prior to that when they lost the AJ Styles, they lost, the Finn Balor's, then they had to, rebuild and revamp the new Gaijins and other talents there. And it feels the same what Tanahashi's doing here, but I feel like he's doing it different what Gato has done for his booking. How do you feel currently of New Japan State overall with Tanahashi now, who is in charge fully of creative? We see the exit of Naito, Bushi, they're already gone. Naito, we know why, because he been fucking needed those surgeries, first of all. Like we've been saying forever, for God's sakes, take a break because your knee needs, you don't have no knees no more. You just you just need to fix your eyes, something shit. Bushi, on the other hand, they really didn't use him as much, only like an 8-man, 6-man or anything, barely competed in the fucking Super Juniors.
Super Juniors, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It wasn't much for Bushi. But I mean, how do you feel what you see overall right now, currently? Since you notice now that Tanahashi took over, and now what he's doing now currently, do you feel like is he the man to lead the future of New Japan the next 5 to 10 years? That's my question.
Listen, I was very, very upset when, and I started questioning this because they gave the New Japan Cup to David Finlay. Now, I'm a big David Finlay fan, but then here's another thing that I did not agree. When they had Goto beat Zack Sabre Jr. for the belt. And the first thing that came into my head was, why are you giving the IWGP belt to an old school guy when you're trying to rebuild with the younger talent?
Right.
Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. would have been the perfect guy to lead that new talent. Yep. But they chose to go to Goto. Now, my thing is, why are you giving Goto the world title when you should have gave it to him back at 2016 when he was feuding with Okada, and they didn't give it to him because Okada was hot at that time. So now you want to give the belt to to Goto, and then you got Yoda Sushi, who's he's the global world champion, which is to me that's another fucking situation when I'm like, okay, you call him the global champion, that means he's the world champion. Then you got the IWGP world champion, so you got 2 world champions in a promotion, right? So then you have Shota Umino. This guy is getting title shot after title shots after title shots. And I'm like, okay, I understand his father's a referee, red shoes, but come on, this guy every time I turn around, he's getting a title shot. You know, you got guys that been there for a while. Tai Chi, another guy. Tai Chi is a good
underrated.
Underrated.
Fucking rated. Doesn't give his credit where credit's due. That man deserves to get a fucking title shot.
Exactly. So, I think his biggest success he had there was when he was part of the Techers with Zack Sabre Jr. the IWGP Tag Team Champions. That was his best moment.
Hell yeah.
And now here's the one guy, another guy that I feel that they don't know what to do with him, and that's Sonata. Sonata, they put him with Bullet Club. Then he turned Bullet Club. Now he's with House of Torture. Before that he was with the Five Guys. They don't know what to do with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Before that, he was with the LIJ. He's been in 4 groups in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Shingo's going to be Shingo. You know what I'm saying? I love Shingo Takagi. You know what I'm saying?
I apologize. Let me stop you there for 1 minute. Let me ask you this. I'm curious to ask you. Does Shingo reminds you in a way, and I know Shingo is Shingo by itself, right? But his charisma, like just his aggressiveness, does he remind you of JBO in a way? Like just because it's aggressive. I'm talking about only aggressive. That's only
JBO because he does that devastating clothesline. That fucking clothesline. I forgot what it is. The bombing bomber. When he hits you with that shit is over with. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I met Shingo about 2 years ago, and he's a short guy. He's probably like 5'7", 5'8". I'm 6'2". He's a short little guy, but he's strong.
He's my height, so
yeah. So you know, like I had met also Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Those guys are fucking monsters. They're like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh shit!
They're tall. They're big guys. So, but Shingo, he's always gonna be. He's gonna be exciting. So I don't have a problem with Shingo being there. I think he's the next guy that's gonna get the title shot against Goto coming up. I think in Dontaku. But the younger guys, I think they still need a little bit more seasoning. You know what I'm saying? Right now with Goto as the world champion, I do not agree with that because I felt that when David Finlay won the New Japan Cup, I said, okay, they're gonna take the belt away from Goto and give it to Finlay, and it'll be cool because he's a young guy. They didn't do that, so I was very disappointed because I started questioning, okay, where you guys are going? You're because then Goto, I remember the first 3 title matches Goto had. He had one with Nagata, then he had with Tanahashi, and then who was the other guy?
Calvin Newman.
Yes. So he had all these 3 title shots. I'm like, are we having a senior citizen moment? What the hell's going on here? You know? You know what I'm saying? So, and then when Finlay didn't win, I'm like, okay, so where are you going with this? And then you got Gabe Kidd. That's another guy who's the future of wrestling, even though he's a nutcase. I love Gabe Kidd, but I don't know if he's going to be in New Japan anymore, and he's going to be with AEW because supposedly he joined Death Riders. So, I mean, because he's part of Bullet Club, so I don't know how he's part of Death Riders. That's confusing for me. But they got a lot of talent in New Japan. I just figure like I think Tanahashi is going to keep pushing the old guards. I don't know why, but that's what I mean. For what I've seen since he's been in charge, the old guards, he's going to keep pushing them. And you know who did this years ago by putting old guards? Antonio Inoki. And you see what happened in New Japan after that.
That is true. He did do that.
New Japan suffered a lot from 2004 all the way to 2007.
Yeah, that's when we saw this, more the exposure of the Gaijin, because at that time, during that era, you didn't see much exposure of them. And this is when kind of the doors opened more for them.
That's why Tanahashi rose in 2007. And they had the Okadas, they had the Naidos, so they had all these guys. And to me, they go on the same route they did years ago. Antonio Inoki did the same mistake years ago. He tried to throw in also shoot fighting type of stuff. And that, that really killed it. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like I know Bigley's, he's saying, go to this bringing in ticket sales. He's going to be a transitional guy, but apparently they're going to just writing it for now, he's saying. That's what he's saying. Is Sonata's like the nickname is of New Japan, unfortunately.
That is true.
It is true, but that shit hurts, man.
But they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, like I think I don't know what because ever since he came back from his injury, yeah, you're right. They didn't know what the fuck to do with him. I'm like, I don't know if Sonata lost his momentum because he had that really charisma before he became. Come on, you remember? He was always in the fucking finals.
Did you see his gear when he joined Bullet Club? He had like a radio. That shit was hilarious. Walking around with like a boombox. And then they don't know what to do with him. He walking around with a guitar, smashing people over the head with it. I don't know what the fuck is Japanese stuff.
That's what it feels like to me. I don't know. I don't know if it's Sonata or Tanahashi. It seems like when Gato was in charge, Gato was pushing him to that level because he was always in those fucking semifinals of a G1 or the J Cup. He was always there, but he lose. And then when he finally won it, it was awesome. But it's like he fucking lost it. It's like I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, is it? I question his charisma now. It's like, is it him or is it what the fuck is it? That's what we're
you know who messed it up, and I'm gonna tell you who messed him up because when he won the IWGP belt, right? The guy who was in charge of the president was some guy who been there since 2019, some Pepsi guy, right? He don't know that. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, he
you know what I'm saying. And now, so what happens? You give a run to Sonata for the IWGP belt, and it was a very weak run. Because if you think about it, remember Forbidden Door, when he defended his belt, it was against, wasn't it Jungle Boy?
Jungle Boy,
right? Why were you defend the belt? Why were you even allowed to fight Jungle Boy when Jungle Boy had nothing to do with New Japan at that time? You know? So, I don't know. But to me, ever since that happened, and then he joined the Five Guys, I was like, he was better off in LIJ. That's the way I feel. He was better off. He had more charisma with LIJ than when he was with the Five Guys. And somebody said that he's just another guy now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm basically saying. He's like, no, you know what I feel like. I think, like, yes, but also I feel when he introduced just Five Guys with Taichi, that could have been his guy. That would have been like this could have been another Naito Hiromu type of way. If they would have ran with it and had kept him there and pushed him to that level because he when he won the belt, his charisma was there. It was like, oh shit, he brought it back. Hell yeah, he's on his own. I guess I know we're so used to see him. His attire was all like long, whatever, long pants. But then when he changes like shorts and everything else, then
it changes color of hair.
Yeah, it changed color of hair. Like I get it, but it could have been he could have transitioned it and had people adapt to it and booked them right. But when he got hurt, I think that's where everything just fucking fell apart. Because from there, when he could have been there, he could have been like, you know what? Because what was it that was injured? Was it his bicep or
I think it was his shoulder or bicep. Could have been a bicep. I'm not sure, but he was out for a while.
Yeah, he was out for a cool minute.
And when he came back, he was not. He lost weight. So his physique is not muscular like he was before. So, and a lot of time, if it's those injuries, they make you lose weight. Oh, I don't want to grow too much muscle because I'll either pop a bicep or whatever the hell, So, but New Japan right now, it's still entertaining. But at the same time, right now, it's to me, it's up in the air because you got Goto in there, and like somebody said, they're probably for ticket sales. But I want David Finlay to become the world champion because his heel status is off the chambers. The
one thing, like in Bakery Night, because we do Dojo Debate here as well in this network, and I more than welcome to bring it on because man, we can debate about each fan, but I'll tell you, brother. And Bakley and I talked about this. Maybe this is and I'm hoping that Tanahashi does this. With this year's coming up to G1, I hope it's either David Finlay or Gabe Kidd that wins the G1. And let's just say that if whoever wins on that one, and let's I'd rather see more Gabe Kidd win it and then have Finley take away the belt away from Goto before Wrestle Kingdom. Then you could have them the first ever 2 Gaijins to really main event Wrestle Kingdom.
I got one better for you.
Okay. Talk to me.
I got Konosuke Takeshita winning the G1 and facing David Finlay at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP belt.
I like that. I like that too. I like that.
Listen, Takeshita is hot, bro. I mean, I was pissed off when AEW took the international belt to give it to Omega. I don't have a problem with Omega. I just feel you go with the hot hand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Takeshita had the Never Openweight Championship, and he had the international title. And who better than to defend the AEW international title than Takeshita since he was going to Japan? You know what I'm saying?
He was, yeah.
So, and not only that, he went to Mexico and defended the belt also in CMML. Yeah. So, I'm hoping to see this, and I want to see Wrestle Kingdom next year. Konosuke Takeshita against David Finlay for the IWGP World Belt.
I like that. If anything, what they could do is prior to that, give me a number 1 contender. Give me, because they always do that type of shit. You put your fucking G1 on the line to get to rescue them. Fucking put that in Gabe Kidd. Konosuke versus Gabe Kidd, and the winner will face Finlay if he's the world champion. I'd fucking Wrestle Kingdom. Like that, I would like to see that as well. No triple threat, just make it prior, let's say, and then so they can tell the story. Because we're in that story right now with the civil war between the War Dogs and now,
but it just finished. It just finished. The War Dogs.
But
they ended up being the House of Torture.
They took away. They're no longer are representing Bullet
Club. Yeah.
Now they're House of Torture, just who they are. But that story's going to continue. It's going to be somehow, some way. But when we're heading into the G1, this is where we have to see what Tanahashi's going to do. Because there's a lot of people right now that we're seeing currently. Like Kaminuma is one of them. Young talent. And has a lot of potential. Gabe Kidd, a lot of potential. Finlay, who's pretty much like your Jay White 2.0 that is heading to that direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost to that era.
Yeah, he's gotten better by the years.
He's gotten better. Yeah, he's gotten better. And Gato's been helping him character-wise, charisma-wise, talking to Mike-wise, and it has helped him tremendously great. There's a lot. You miss Konosuke, another one who is ready. Shingo, who is your veteran there, that he is, where's LIJ going to go? Who's going to take it over? Should it be Hiromu, Shingo, separate ways? There's a lot of questions into that. So it's a new season for New Japan to see what's going to happen. Especially with the Super Juniors, it's telling that side of the story with Despy. We still got Doku who needs this fucking rematch after what happened to him in his arm. And it's just like there's so much shit there that it's storytelling. How Getcho was saying on the chat earlier about these tournaments does help out telling stories heading into Dominion, Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm excited. This is the first. This is going to be, we could say, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like this is really fully Tanahashi's full control of him booking his Wrestle Kingdom. Because I feel like prior it wasn't his. I feel like it was still Gato and Kushida boy. I think it was still there.
I just hope that it doesn't turn out like what happened at Tony Inoki. You can't live off the old guards. You can't. Because people get tired. We're in the era right now, wrestling fans. Their attention span is not that fast. They get bored real quick.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just hope that they're able to do something. Tanahashi does able to do something and build this talent that he needs to have ready for the next 10 years for New Japan, and I hope that does happen. So, I'm with you, and I'm really stoked of what they're going to bring to the table, introducing a lot of these new talents that we're seeing.
Yeah,
and I hope to get more. And one thing too that people don't pay attention is that Tanahashi, we've been seeing a lot now, New Japan talent coming here internationally. Back then, we didn't really see them as much.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, like, oh shit, we're seeing them here. You're seeing them in House of Glory, or you're seeing them, around either MLW, or you see them in GCW, or you see them, besides, I'm not talking about AEW, but like any promotions overall. They're getting out there. Cool. Okay, that's one thing. I hope Tanahashi is able to get with Bushido on board. We got to focus on we want to talk about marketing. They're the ones who need to market their shit here in North America.
Yeah.
That's what they need to fucking focus.
Yeah. No.
All right. So let's get to the last topic, brothers, and we close this out, man, because I know it's about to be 11 o'clock your time. But man, let's talk about it because this is the one that I'm curious to hear you out. And this is this one. The men's and women's participants of who should be participating in the Money in the Bank and who should win it. That is the biggest question for you.
Men's Money in the Bank.
You can start however you like, either men or women's. You can start however you like. Name your six and who should win.
I say, listen, I got CM Punk should be in there. Drew McIntyre definitely is going to be in there. Let me see. Maybe Braun Breaker. That's a 3. Let's see. Roman Reigns is not going to be involved there because Roman is going to be out for a while. He's out. I can see Aleister Black in there.
Okay.
That's 4, right? Rusev might be there. That's 5.
Okay.
And Seth Rollins is 6.
All right.
I got Braun Breaker winning the Money in the Bank.
Shit! Oh shit! You just literally whoa. Oh shit! This one Lady Mania fucking running wild because I was like, what? Damn! Okay.
Let me give you that woman's Money in the Bank. I got Bianca Belair in there.
All right.
I got Roseanne Perez. I gotta put Becky in there.
Okay.
That's 3. Maybe Bayley. Now Bayley, I don't put it in. I don't think Bayley because I think they're holding that back with that. Let me see what other girls are. They could put Nia Jax in there.
Okay.
And Jay Cargill. I think I got all the 5, right?
That's 5.
Yeah, that's 5. Okay, let's put Naomi in there. That's 6.
All right, Neil. All right.
I got Roxanne Perez winning this.
Yeah, baby. That's the one I agree for sure. Because yes, I got Roxanne for sure. I think it's her time. I think she's ready. I think she's fucking ready.
Yeah, she has developed so much. I remember when she was known in Ring of Honor. I forgot her name. I forgot what was her name. Roxy, that was her name.
Yeah, it was Roxy.
Roxy. I remember when she won that Ring of Honor championship. She was the first one to win that. That girl has, for what she is now. As a matter of fact, if somebody used to tell me, sit down and watch NXT, I will watch NXT just to watch her. Her and Stephanie Raquel.
If you go back and watch the priors, like her when she turned heel, and see her moments in NXT, you're not gonna be disappointed. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah,
you will be very pleasant with all the stories that she's done.
Oh yeah, but I'm familiar with her stuff. I when she used to wrestle, I used to see what she was about. That's why now when I see her in WWE now in the main roster, I'm like, this woman has improved so much in the last 6 years. It's only been 6 years.
Yeah.
And she got trained by Booker T too, so
Yep, reality wrestling.
I want to hear yours.
But before I get to mine, I want to know, like the Roxanne one. I'll agree with you with the winner in that one. You know what? Let's go with the women. I'll go with you with that one. So the women one, Roxanne for sure. I got her. I got Rhea to get involved in that. That's 2. I got Liv Morgan, unfortunately. That would be 3. I got Charlotte to be 4. So I got Bianca being 5. And I do got Bayley at 6 because I feel like this is going to be her last chance.
Okay.
And so this is going to be her last opportunity. And I think from there, she should just stick to up-leveling the mid-card titles, at least something. And I got Roxanne for sure winning. I think she's the one who's going to come unexpectedly. Yes, we're seeing her been losing on Raw and all this. I get it. It does affect her, but then again, it doesn't because at the end of the day, you know what? She main evented Raw, first of all. So shit, fuck all that shit. Mm-hmm. So give her that fucking credit. So I'll tell you that. And now her to come out of nowhere, you know how bad that she could take the gimmick and this little smiling, hey, going around with the fucking shit around, she could do all that shit. And she could cash into anybody. It could be either the Raw or the SmackDowns or the NXT. She could play it off like, wow, I think she can pull it off. And I think she'll win it. I think she'll cash it in either, I would say before Rumble. I would say probably by Survivor Series. She fucking end of the year for her be like, you know what, I won the championship. Very short. Very sweet. But who knows? We don't who knows? Hopefully it goes that direction. But my pick, I'm with you, is Roxanne. So you got Braun Breaker. Tell me why. I'm curious to hear about it.
Braun Breaker right now, that is the future. That's the future superstar. I think by next year, he's going to be the world champion. I don't know. I see it happening. This guy he has been developing. I mean, and the thing I don't like is they got him already in the group. And once you got in the group, now you got the main guy like Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins might not need to win a world title. You know what I'm saying? He don't. I mean, he don't need to. Braun Breaker is the future. This guy has, I remember when I first saw Braun Breaker, I was like, who is this guy? Then I found out he's one of Rick Steiner's son. And as I seen him throughout the year, he's been developing. And then when he came up the roster, I seen what he's all about. I mean, right now, he's the hottest guy right now. Whether he's here or not, he's still getting the fanfare, you know what I'm saying? Besides, of course, Jey Uso. I mean, but he's getting the fanfare. People are behind him. So why not? Him winning, I could see him spear somebody off the ladder when somebody's trying to reach for the case, and he'll jump from one ladder to and spear him, and goes up and gets the briefcase. So that, I don't know. Something tells me Braun Breaker.
Okay. I could tell you my participants in this one. The men's, I got Seth, I got Braun for sure. I got Finn Balor. I got Drew McIntyre. I got, something tells me, I don't know why, I feel that we're going to get Damian Priest involved in this. And the last one for me is Karrion Kross. And I choose him to win it.
You will choose Karrion Kross to win it?
I choose him to win it.
Wow. You know what's funny? You didn't even pick CM Punk.
No. I just don't see CM Punk involved in that.
Oh, wow.
Karrion
Kross. Well, okay, now I'm going to ask you
why
Karrion Kross. Because Karrion Kross hasn't won shit in 5 years.
I know that. And besides the NXT, that's something different, of course. Yeah. But the one thing is that what he's doing, like, I know that guy, first of all, like, personally. Like, I'm not here to brag or anything. I've been saying it on the show forever. One of my best friends is dating his wife's high school fucking BFF. So that's how you know that we all meet in some kind of world. So it is what it is. But shout out to you, Anastasia. I know you're watching. But other than that, Karrion, because we haven't seen him get that push, and he's getting it now. I'm not going based upon the documentary that we saw on YouTube that he put out, and people are going to jump the gun right away. No, for me, it's really the man has the charisma. One for sure.
He did when he was in TNA.
Exactly, talented in fucking talented in the ring. And this guy could really come out of nowhere and could really fucking just go in and really cash it in. I love you, Jey Uso, yeet, man, but this man can cash it on you. And he could do that. And I feel like Karrion is the one, should be it's underrated. It's not given the opportunity where he deserves to be given credit. All they have him do is being the instigator. Oh, you should do this. Fuck all that shit. No, have him fucking perform. Have him fucking something, because that guy could deliver in the ring along with Scarlett there. Like, come on, let him do something, and he could do that. And for him to come out of nowhere, sorry, Randy, no pun intended, but he could really come out there and grab that shit Go cash it in. Maybe either before Mania or at Mania, and win the championship. And really, and then not only that, but think about this. He can really put put a little, there you go. Let it count by. Time is ticking when it comes to right. He can go to Raw, he can go to SmackDown, he can go to NXT, he can go anywhere, the same thing, and really do the same shit. And really cashes it on over.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned about the ticking part, and I noticed they don't use that anymore.
He's gonna bring it back.
Yeah, he bring it back. That'd be cool.
Because remember when he did it? Remember when he did it? The last time he did that was when he did it with the Bloodline. And remember when he left it there? When he did it to Roman?
Yeah.
And look what happened to Roman. All this shit that happened in the storytelling. And then he can do the same thing to the victim that he could choose for.
Yeah.
So they could take advantage of using that story with him and telling it.
Yeah.
And they could definitely do that. I know they got rid of course, his faction. Final Testament. I don't know why, and I would never understand why. But then again, I do. It's a roller coaster in that one. It's in my opinion. Yeah. But it is what it is. But I would take the advantage of, all right, since you want to fucking start citing motherfuckers everywhere, get the Righteous. They're a free agent.
The Righteous, yes.
Bring them with Karrion Kross and have them. Oh my God! I think
the Righteous show up at WWE, and then he could stab some little feud with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, stop, puppy. You calling right there, puppy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's go. That's what I'm fucking talking about. You see, you're reading my mind.
Let's fucking go.
I love it. You see, you get me hot, man. Fuck. You see, this is what happens. You see, when you got two right here, Rasta's
hard.
Only am I rock hard. Want me to go to sleep. I'm not tired. I'm fully rested.
That sounds like me. I'm fully rested.
Yeah, I always tell I always go to the 4 3.5 hour probably to sleep, but
yeah,
I mean that's how I feel, bro. Like I get your pick with Braun, but I picked Karrion for that reason. I feel he could be the underdog that comes out of no fucking nowhere and really unexpect anybody to be like, what the fuck? Like, oh, shit.
Well, we will find out because the Money in the Bank qualifying match has started already.
I think it's on Monday, right? They already down to the
Okay, so we'll see if he doesn't participate in the damn Money in the Bank or qualifying match. I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm be pissed too.
Oh, Braun Breaker involved in that because if you're gonna, this is the thing. Sometimes WWE uses the same guys all the time in situations like this. You got to give breaks to the other guys. I'm sure probably Finn Balor is going to be part of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, I said Rusev and I said Aleister Black, but because these guys just came back, I don't see them, doing that. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be very interesting.
It's too soon. It's just like, what? Like, no, like, just have them do their own shit in a way, like, book them in matches where they need to be booked. I think it's too soon, unless let's get it. I feel sometimes that Papa H kind of like gives them the words. I'll give you my word. I'm gonna reward you with this. Like, I gotta stop. Please, don't stop doing that shit. Like, I just don't.
Listen, that backlash he had this pay-per-view, I mean, it was pretty good. You can't go wrong. I mean, we'll see. But the thing is that when they do those shows, they begin to look like AEW. They do these show Raws and SmackDown. They don't feel like a special show. You know what I'm saying? But then when the pay-per-views come up, their pay-per-views are good. They had been having the same problem for the last 2 years. They don't hype up the damn like either the shows every week, and then when the problem with the pay-per-view comes up, the pay-per-view delivers. No,
I agree with what you say about me. It's just like, for me, it's just I feel sometimes that they're kind of like want to repeat the same thing what Tony Khan does to test the waters, and they could do it too. It's like the old saying, monkey see, monkey do. And it's vice versa the same. Like, Tony Khan sees what they're doing. We all know it's competition. Of course, they want to copy each other and see if it works in their way. That goes everywhere in sports. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes it does work. It's like how you said it. It's like, obviously at the time, tribalism gets involved, and that's where it fucks kind of everything up in a way. But I'm glad you and I, and the people that we're surrounding the community, we don't do that. We critique everything overall. Yes, we have our favorites, but doesn't mean that fuck everybody else. No, we like everything too.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but Papi Hermano, I know it's that time.
Yes.
And I appreciate you very much for tuning in this evening. But before I let you go, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and the opportunity to come here. And hopefully I would have you back. I would love to have you for sure, Dojo Debate, and more here besides Circle Debate or any. Look, the door's open here at Manu. You're more than welcome. You want to join us, watch parties, watch alongs, anything. The door's open here. Your family, you're more than welcome here. But I want to really thank you for taking the opportunity to come here and let the people know where they can find you, how they can search you, and tell them where they can find so they can get that chokeslam from right now.
That's it. I appreciate you bringing me in. I've been wanting to do this show for a while. Again, guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, the X. You can follow the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on the YouTube channel. I just did. If you guys are interested, I just gave my feedback on the whole Sabu situation. So I just did that probably my hour before I came here. So go check that out. And any content that you guys want to see, you can subscribe and whatnot. You can also check out my podcast store, which is tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Again, that's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. I got t-shirts, hats, hoodies. If you want to get a gift for somebody, just go in there and get it, and support the podcast. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Again, you can find me any social media, like I said, Instagram, Facebook, the X. And I'm always on X. So on the X, I'm always talking crap. So he knows.
X gonna give it to you, baby. That's right. You can find that on the link tree below on the description here, folks. Click on that. Make sure you find it right there. Find the store. Find everything there from here. I'm going to hear from the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Make sure you follow him, please, folks. This man brings a lot of stuff that, man, he's like, it's like he's part of his family. He's like,
I'm an encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's like, we get the same. Like, everybody has your opinions, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be arguing. No, you're right. No, you're supposed to. No.
That's it.
We don't go to that.
I'm gonna say like this. Look, this is the type of podcast I like coming in because we can sit down. We have a debate, a decent debate without like, oh no, you wrong, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? You go agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? And we don't find these type of podcasts, and that's why I don't jump on anybody's podcast. But here, like I said, you're welcome to come to mine if you like to. I'll wait. I think the next one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring you for the review or the what is it, Double or Nothing. So we'll talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll bring you in. So again, I appreciate it. Much love. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it, brother.
You already know. Folks, it's about that time in the KHPG. I did see you, I know. No, you're a handsome man. I know. And by the way, just tell Henry why they call me OPC is because they call me Original Papi Chulo. That's the reason.
That's a Latino thing. You know what that is. You know what I'm saying? I got that Papi Chulo over here in New York.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. You already know, Papi. Yeah, you already know. That's how we do it. But it's hard that time, folks.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
That's right, folks. You already know. And remember, don't be like MJF over here.
¡Eh, cabrón! ¡Chinga tu madre!
You don't want to do that sometimes, because sometimes it's going to hit back.
Shit's about to hit the fan.
Shit's about to hit the fan.
You don't want to hit, you don't want to do that all the time. But
yeah,
see what we do here. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all that are listening and watching around the world. Please do not forget to subscribe to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. The description right below. Follow me here, mi hermano, mi papi right here. Henry, to follow him because he provides you we do the same here, folks. You know, he provides you. You know, there's times that we can't do it. He does it. So it's like, hey, you know. But we here in the podcast community, we don't. You know, there's no such thing as competition. For us, it's really, hey, you know what? We're all family. We all support each other. We love each other. We push each other, and we do it for all of you fans that are watching and listening. And we appreciate you all. And make sure hit that like button, hit that notification button. Make sure you subscribe and follow us. Get us to the road and get this match for Road 500 as well, because he's asking for that. Get him there, because I'm going to get him there. But we got to do it all together. You got to make sure we do that.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's right. And you already know, folks, that over here, not only just here at the Debate Network, but you already know on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we don't just do podcasting, talk bullshit, or even give bullshit. No, we don't do that. I'm just kidding, folks. You guys already know. We don't bullshit you, Tony Khan. We don't do that. We don't do that, Tony Khan. But, you know, Papa H, I'm watching you too. Manuel, I'm watching you too. Especially you, piece of shit, Seltzer, Alvarez. Especially Alvarez. You and I, we had a beef. People, you will never talk about it, but yeah, you and I met in person one time. Yeah, years ago. 2000. You know what I'm talking about. But until then, folks, we don't just do podcasting, just talking shit talk and music or anything. We do 3 words here. We make history, folks. Buenas noches. Good night, everybody. Au revoir. And we'll see you all the next time.
Must bid you adieu, a goodbye, mwah, and good night. Oh my God, it's so great. Bang! Over and over. Make history!